Greetings and salutations, friends, and welcome back. I was so happy to see that this happened. For those unaware, Crazy Kerry Cassidy is one of my guilty pleasures. She is quite possibly the craziest bitch on the internet. She believes that JFK Jr. didn't die, and Juan O'Sullivan is him, and he's going to come back and be the president. And also, reptilian shape-shifting overlords control the whole government and are going to, well, it's a long story. It's enough to say that she has some pretty wacky beliefs. She also believes that she has superpowers. That's right. She's a remote viewing psychic. Oh my God, Tim Curley is agreeing with me. Mine too, Stephen. Yeah, so anytime I get a chance to hear a talk by her, I'm excited because you never know what kind of crazy shit she's going to say. That was drug-induced psychosis waiting screen for the live stream to start, True Seekers. Perhaps, but thanks for being a member. Frank Perro says she is mentally ill. Well, yeah, I think she's crazy. That's why I just call her Crazy Kerry Cassidy. The fact that she's able to just walk around in real life with these wacky belief systems is pretty crazy. But I jokingly say that she's from Project SCAMALOT because everything she's ever done with that Project Camelot has essentially been a scam. For example, she used a court-martialed child predator that she knew had been convicted by a military court of R-ing children, an underage girl, multiple times, but that didn't stop her from using that guy to sell completely and totally fake secret space stories. In fact, I believe that the blueprint for Corey Goode and David Wilcock scam came from Project SCAMALOT and Kerry Cassidy. David Wilcock was also involved in that scam, which utilized a completely and totally fake Navy SEAL, who was fake special forces and fake secret space. But the reality was the guy was a child artist. And that didn't stop. That wasn't enough to stop Crazy Kerry Cassidy from selling this guy's stories. Crazier than Sarah R. Adams. Well, they're a different kind of crazy, Urban Terra, but they're both crazy bitches. So interestingly, Crazy Kerry Cassidy has connected with my other guilty pleasure, which is super soldier talk. You know, we've done those wackadoo of the weeks. These people, they claim they have superpowers, and you know, they're fighting alien overlords on planet Mars and all this shit, and going on secret space missions, and you know, teleporting around the universe and saving Earth. And oh, it is just beautiful crazy, right? And so the fact that Crazy Kerry Cassidy has intersected with my other guilty pleasure of crazy fucking wackadoos just brings me great joy, friends. I can't tell you how happy I was to see that this crazy woman went to the Super Soldier Activation Wackadoo Conference. Yes, that's what I'm calling it. Or convention. I'm sorry. It's a convention full of wackadoos that think they fucking have superpowers. I mean, how can you not enjoy watching a whole convention of crazy people tell each other their superhero stories? It's pretty great, right? So we're going to get into the video. Let me just share my screen. Oh, but before I do, I will put my fair use banner up. We haven't had many of these false copyright claims. Seems we scared the grifters off, and they've stopped harassing me with completely and totally false copyright claims, at least for now. I'm still waiting on several to resolve. For those unaware, David Wilcock has been harassing me and messing with my business. I know I forgot the goal. I was a little busy making a thumbnail 5-10 minutes before the fucking show, Spooky. Spooky didn't get the message. Okay, so let me go over then, and I will set the goal. We're going to keep it to where we can actually hit it, because we've actually hit it if I keep it low enough, right? Be humble, I guess. And I'm just going to put overtime Kerry stuff. So if we get the goal, we'll find some alternate Crazy Kerry Cassidy insanity. And we'll do that for the overtime. And yes, I just started the goal, and it's a very reasonable 20 super chats of $5 or more. And I just want to let you all know that we read every single super chat. We thank every single person that offers any support, whether you send a sub on Kick or you become a sub on Kick, if you give some memberships on YouTube, if you send a super chat, a PayPal pledge, if you buy me a beer, if you become a member during the live broadcast. We thank every single person that supports us. So don't be shy with those donos, friends. We could use some bombs for the week. I'm still recovering from being bent over and butt raped by my local government where my cabins are. Because the local township decided to fuck me for $2,000 to build a little tiny cabin in the woods, which, by the way, is going to cost about $300 or $400 total to build. Because I'm building it all out of natural materials, rocks from the ground and stones from the land and logs from the forest. So it's interesting that they can charge me a permit fee that is 4 or 5 times what the actual structure will cost to build, right? But this is the situation where we're at. So I'm still recovering from that. We'll take a moment to recognize some kind and generous friends like Amber Gedden, who says, let's get this party started. Yes, I believe that we will. And that's one for the goal. And we thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support of the show. Much, much appreciated. Let's get it going, friends. We got to praise the cash. I still need a sink for the new cabin and a bunch of other stuff. So I'd really appreciate any help that you could be. And I also need the big purchase that I'm really dreading is I have to purchase some heavy duty, extra long life marine RV batteries for the solar system. We have the solar panels, we have the charge controller, we have the inverter to turn it from, I think it's 48 volt into house voltage. The only thing I need for the solar panel system at the new cabin is some big ass RV batteries or golf cart batteries or marine deep cycle batteries. That will enable us to have all the power we could ever need there to charge our tools or run some tools, to run a TV or a stereo, radio, whatever, laptops. I really think we'll have a pretty meager power source there because I just need lights and a laptop, and 12-volt lights don't take very much power at all. But thank you, Amber Gedden, for recognizing the goal and helping us to... Raise the cash. That is awesome. Thank you, Amber Gedden. We've got another one hearing the call of the goal. That's Trolly Troll Troll, who's a big-time, long-time show supporter. Says, challenge Kerry to remote view the box of dildos. If she finds it, no $10,000, but she can keep it. All right, I hereby challenge Crazy Kerry Cassidy. Use your superpowers and find the buried box of dildos that I buried for David Wilcock. If you find the box, you don't get the 10 grand, Kerry, but we will let you keep the box of dildos, and I'm sure you'll enjoy them. And there's anal lube in there, too, in that box. But thank you, Trolly Troll Troll, for your kindness, generosity, and support. Raise the cash. Right, I will check in with the Kick Live chat as well. Looks like the last subscriber was Rex Racer. Thank you for that. And Chill Station 7 gifted a sub. Those are the most recent, and that's all the way back in October 8th. But we will still thank you and praise the cash. Raise the cash. Get some Kick sub, friends. And also, I wanted to apologize. We had planned to do another Kick only show last night. Unfortunately, you can check on my Twitter. I put up a bunch of log walls over the weekend, and I was so beat up and tired, and I had an unusually long ride home. Normally it's about 2 hours, but yesterday it was 2 hours and 45 minutes because of road construction and all these delays. So, and I left late, I got home late. By the time I got home, I was just like, I can't do it. So I apologized. Yeah, you dare not bless the goal. Well, MDD is a bitch. Good advice. We should all bless the goal. So we've put our fair use banner up. I am going to share my screen and we'll get into this video of Crazy Kerry Cassidy at the Super Soldier Activation Conference. And let me just back it up to... we'll just back it up to where another crazy bitch introduces her. So that's going to be good. Oh, what the hell? What is going on, friends? There we go. All right, we got it. So for those unaware, Crazy Kerry Cassidy is the founder of something I call Project SCAMALOT, which she calls Project Camelot. Yes, Winter Soldier wants to know where his activation conference invite was. Yes. Actually, I never connected Winter Soldier to the Marvel, but now once you said that, I went, oh, okay, yeah, like the Captain America, like Bucky, yeah. Oh, yeah, you should have been invited for sure. But let's get into this. This video is going to be. Well, really, it depends on how crazy she gets. I've noticed that how much I enjoy her talks really depends on how deeply crazy and fucking batshit crazy the claims coming out of her mouth get. They're usually pretty. She's usually good for a lot of bullshit, though. So we'll see.
Hey, Sal, bring him in. Ask everybody to have a nice seat. Get settled. You beautiful souls at the back. We're going to invite you to have a seat.
Yeah, sit the fuck down. Conspiracy Land royalty is coming to the stage.
Hey,
the craziest bitch on the internet.
Come here for a second. Do me a favor.
Tell those fuckers back there they have to sit down. Kerry requires everybody to be sitting.
I touched. Oh shit. Neil, is it Neil? Who's Kerry's helper? Come here. Come here, please.
I love how they have a super soldier background, like a stand-up super soldier behind them while they talk.
Sorry.
And some kind of wacky, wrong American flag with white instead. That's weird.
I forgot. I touched the screen. I touched it. I might have hit. I don't know what I hit. Did I hit the go back button? Oh, thank God.
She's this loser that works for Kerry.
Was me. Yes, it was. I admit it. It's like, please fix it now.
The cutout looks like a Halo reject character. That is correct.
The message didn't go through.
Hang on to your seats. It's about to get batshit crazy up in this bitch. That is correct.
Okay, can you hear me still, guys, or no? We're good? Or is that loud enough?
The cardboard super soldier
check.
is off center.
You guys tell me if that's good. Is that good? Can you everybody hear us okay?
Here comes Crazy Kerry.
Who can hear us? Good? Okay.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I love that. This lovely lady, Kerry Cassidy, I don't think she needs an introduction, but we are going to do that because she's, we all know who she is. So welcome, guys.
Come on,
Super Soldier,
Super
Activation
Soldier
Conference 2025 with Kerry Cassidy.
Don't you want to activate your superpowers? There's got to be a whole 40 people there to see her. Wow.
Sorry if it was a bit of a late start here because everything.
Yeah, she was busy dildoing herself in the back.
Here we are.
So
and
now
I've got a
takes
bunch
a while
of
to get herself off.
Kind of like I want to jump from one to the other and see if they all fit into your worldview and where you want to go from here. So we're really in a fight for humanity, and if you don't know that, you probably wouldn't be here, right? So, okay, yeah. So maybe move this over closer. Okay, there we go. Is that better? Okay, so. Basically, what I'm going to do first of all, this is kind of, you might call
I get it. You're right. They're always the heroes. Yes.
Sort of trying to galvanize everyone to understand where we're at and maybe how you can contribute right now. And now let me ask a couple questions. How many people are familiar with my work in the audience? Okay, a good smattering. And then there's a few that aren't, right? So just so I have to clarify. I'm an investigative reporter, documentary filmmaker. I've been doing this for 20 years, which is crazy. But
she's an investigative journalist that doesn't actually investigate anything. If she did, she would know that she was using a fucking child molester for a source for a bunch of stories she was selling, right?
It's been a wild ride.
She doesn't investigate
and I specialize on whistleblowers from above top secret. And
there's no such thing as above top secret, you crazy
in
bitch.
That respect. Okay, what I mean is military, ex-military, people in roles of authority, aerospace, intelligence agents who never really quit, right? Once the CIA.
Yeah, right. She's not talking to intelligence assets. Charles McDonald is here with a kind and generous $11 Canadian, says this was a cartoon in the 1990s. Yeah, that super soldier looks like a cartoon from the 1990s, I would say. But thank you, Charles McDonald, for hearing the call of the goal. And all you people that are in the audience not yet subscribed, maybe Charles McDonald or someone else here will feel very generous and start gifting memberships, and you could win one, but you got to be a subscriber first. So smash that subscribe button like it's hot.
Raise the cash, raise the cash, raise the cash.
All right, thank you, Charles McDonald. Big show support already. She didn't even start the crazy yet, but she will. Don't worry. We're just getting warmed up with the craziness.
Which is CIA, and I'm sure we have somebody in the audience that's monitoring me properly. But this is the new.
Yeah, she thinks she's so important that the CIA would send somebody to a fucking wackadoo conference to see what she's talking about. You're not that important, honey. You're just a crazy bitch on the internet. The CIA doesn't even know who you are, let alone care, because you're just a crazy fucking degenerate on the internet that scams people, just like Wilcock. By the way, do you know who taught David Wilcock how to scam morons on the internet? That's right. It was crazy Kerry Cassidy.
Days, not the old days. So you don't even have to send a person in person, right? They could just be, they're watching me, right? And they were trying to mess with me earlier, but I got some good stuff going on, so they're not able to quite take complete control. Okay.
Yeah, this is a bunch of bullshit. This is her fantasy that the CIA sent somebody to the conference to mess with her or quiet her or shut her up. But she fought back against the evil CIA agents. Come on, you crazy bitch. There's no evidence the CIA has anything to do with you. You're just a retard. And, you know, this retarded woman is basically talking to a bunch of other retarded people that believe her. Indigo Horizon with one for the goal. I was in Orlando during this conference. I kind of wanted to go for a day just to feel better about myself. I'd be the smartest person in the room. That is correct, Indigo Horizon. And thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support, and hearing the call of the goal.
Raise the cash, raise the cash, raise the cash.
All right, Indigo Horizon, big support. And Duco Duos, Alpha Ralpha just gifted a True Seekers membership. And this, my friends, is why you got to hit the subscribe button. Because if you're in the live chat and a kind and generous soul like Duco Duos, Alpha Ralpha, who's done this a bunch of times before, I believe, gifts a membership, you could win one, but you can only win a free gifted membership if you're in the live chat and you are a subscriber. So please be sure to hit that subscribe button. And thank you, Duco Duos, Alpha Ralpha, who has gifted a membership and expanded our members only section. By the way, last night I uploaded another video in our Legends of the Lost Cities series, which is very studiously researched, meticulously researched, in fact. It was basically, I took a bunch of articles that I had researched and written about legendary lost cities, and we've turned them into videos. And I think we're up to 5 videos. The month of October for you members and Patreon supporters has been awesome. 5 members only videos this month. But thank you, Duco Duos, Alpha Ralph.
Raise the cash, raise the cash, raise the cash.
Richard Warner says the CIA wouldn't waste their time on this wackadoo. Well, yeah. And she's using it like everybody, all these other conspiracy people. Like, oh, my information is so true and so accurate and so important that the evil cabal, the men in black, they are trying to stop me from telling you guys this truth that I have. You don't have any truth. You're a fucking wackadoo. QCW, what does membership do? Well, if you become a member for YouTube, it's $5. By the way, you can hit the join button and become a member. And if you become a member during a live broadcast, we give you a big shout out and thank you. If you become a member, you get a members only badge in the live chat, so everybody knows you're a big show supporter. You get priority reply in the comments and in the live chat, and you also get access to our members only videos. Like I said, there was 5 extra videos uploaded this month for members and Patreon supporters. That's what you get. That's my pitch. I'm a terrible salesperson. Just buy my shit, okay?
So
my extra shit.
Anyway, so just saying, so the bottom line here is I'm just going to be saying some pretty outrageous things. I might be the most outrageous, edgy person that you've ever met. And I'm not saying that lightly because...
In other words, I'm the craziest bitch you've ever heard from. And I believe her. I believe her.
People tell me that. Okay, so, you know, and I spoke a couple days ago at a New York conference. It was very small. In Long Island, the Awakening Conference. And what I said, like, eyes were opening, like, I don't know what they thought. But anyway, so the bottom line here is I'm going to be revealing more about the battle we're actually fighting.
There's no battle.
I think that a lot of
this
people
is an imaginary war
she
made up in her crazy schizophrenic mind.
And why they do the things they do. This is the trouble.
Yeah, there's
no
cabin
one
videos
explains
as well. Yeah.
Why Trump makes some crazy decision to take over Greenland, for example, or, you know, or England, right? Or wherever, okay? Which he is basically moving to take control of the whole,
you are correct,
I don't know if you call it the North American continent, but that includes, you know, South America. So it's this whole continental portion of the world, all right? And that's actually what he's actually doing. So we're talking about Iceland, Greenland, where we already have a military presence, substantial.
Some of these people are huge Trump supporters to the point where Kerry Cassidy denied that Donald Trump lost that election to Biden. And she was one of those people that was saying that Biden wasn't in the real White House. He was on a set, and that Donald Trump was in the real White House and controlling the military. And that he was going to storm the Biden compound and arrest Joe Biden for stealing the election and faking the election results and all this shit. It was wild, friends. Wild, totally wild. The militant nerd with one for the goal says, super soldier talk is wild. Can you look into how James Rink got a 501c3 for super soldier stuff? That's some Wilcox level grift. It's a fake soldiers charity. Yeah. So the guy who runs this conference got his organization declared a charity for people that are super soldiers. They help people that are recovering their super soldier memories. And therefore, all the money that he makes on this shit, he doesn't have to pay any income tax on, which is pretty funny that he gets tax-free earnings when he's dealing with fake super soldiers, right? The militant nerd.
Raise the cash, raise the cash, raise the cash.
Thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support. It is much, much appreciated. The militant nerd hearing the call of the goal. Yeah, I need to get in on that, Winter Soldier. Me too. Me too.
Which a lot of it is underground, and it leads to the North Pole.
Oh, the underground tunnels.
And they go in and out of the North Pole, and I even have a witness who has gone on
I wonder if this witness is a child predator,
have
too.
Seen him.
Probably.
His last name is Hendricks. He's a very unusual man. And he was involved in the military. He was taken on a plane.
Is that David
and flew
Hasselhoff?
into the North Pole.
No, that's a super soldier.
And saw, things like dinosaurs and really amazing stuff. And was there for, I think it was maybe 24 to 48 hours.
Oh, there's totally dinosaurs in Antarctica.
It was like another civilization. So take it for what it's worth. He showed up at a conference. He was a very quiet-spoken man. He disappeared completely, so I don't have his name, phone number anymore, right? But I do have a video interview with him.
Ask those super soldiers to suit up and prepare to fight on Pluto. They would shit themselves.
You know, I know you're hearing a lot of super soldiers or people that think they're super soldiers or so on and so forth. Not to say they aren't.
Unusual man, crazy dude.
Proof is really hard to come by. So
where are the uniforms?
You have to, especially my job, rely on your intuition, your psychic ability, what I get. And I get
Nazis riding dinosaurs in Antarctica.
I really get some great stuff. And it turns out to be true later down the line. But I have to risk it, okay? So I risk my own judgment, and I'm not shy about doing that. Okay, so here we go. So you know that Trump announced the Space Command was going to move from Colorado to Huntsville, Alabama.
They're the inner Earth people.
Now, whenever they do anything, and it's Trump, Hugh, the white hat military, okay? and 107. So that's, you can
There
just
we
think
go.
of that as kind of like a
107
little
is
group,
JFK
and they
Jr.
are supposed to be the good guys. All right. They're supposed to be saving humanity
They're the
and
fake
our
alliance
sovereignty here on
that
earth.
David Wilcock
And
talks about.
also, they're supposed to be revealing the enemies who have been trying to keep humanity enslaved for all these millions
dinosaurs
of years.
don't make good mounts.
And
No,
they have a
Sasha,
tough
no.
job to do. They're going into underground bases.
She risked her
we
judgment
hear,
and lost
okay,
because they.
you know,
That's
Gene
correct.
Decode,
And thanks
he
for being a member,
describes
Dave.
this, and he's a military guy. He's part of their team, and he is describing rescuing children from underground bases. And just to make this clear,
conspiracy.
that there are tons of underground bases all over the earth. It's like honeycombed, if you will.
Yeah, I don't believe that one, Matthew.
The reptilian bases are actually under
aliens.
our bases. So when you think there's a battle going on, it's not necessarily in the reptilian base, but that is where they keep their nests, which contain children. I'm sorry to say this, okay? But you have to, you know, I'm just trying to get this clear for people.
Oh, the
Now,
reptilians are
how many
stealing our
people have
children.
ever heard of Courtney Brown and his remote viewers?
Oh, Courtney Brown.
Okay, pretty good.
Courtney Brown is the total reason that the Heaven's Gate cult killed themselves. Courtney Brown was the one who started the conspiracy that there was a spaceship flying inside, or was it behind, the Hale-Bopp comet that was coming by Earth. And Courtney Brown is in my opinion, is the total reason why all those people killed themselves, because they firmly believed that his psychic powers were real and he was telling the truth about the alien spaceship involved with the Hale-Bopp comet. He's about as credible as a crackhead, but that won't stop Kerry from citing him. And she won't tell you that he's the reason all those people from Heaven's Gate killed themselves. She'll leave that part out. Everybody who cites Courtney Brown as a source leaves that part out.
So what happens is one of his remote viewers, he's very astute, happens to be his son, Aziz, actually had a remote viewing of an underground base where there was an arena.
Yeah, she had a murderer source.
I'm sorry if you're shy or have, you know, things can offend you, but whatever. I'm just telling you what he said. He said he went, and he's not even a fan of Camelot. Okay, he probably doesn't even know who I am. So the thing is that he went into, he remote viewed this area where there was an arena. There were, I think, 1 or 2 children in the, you know, middle of the arena where all eyes were on them, and they were witnessing them being tortured. And I'm not going to go into a graphic description here, but if you use your imagination, a bunch of military men came in with machine guns in through a tunnel, and they basically blasted the entire audience, the entire sick, you know, motherfucking audience, and killed them all. You understand? And rescue the children. This is what this remote viewer, and he actually was.
And the source of this whole story is a remote viewer. Okay, that's about as credible as a crackhead.
Is able to put it online. So that's pretty radical. You know, it's very hard to get any graphic, specific description. And you know, the remote viewers, there are 2 main groups. I guess you know who they are, maybe you don't. One is called Future Forecasting Group. Dick Algier is kind of the ringleader in a sense, and he is a remote viewer going back, working for the military back in the day. Okay. And Daz Smith is another one, military remote viewer, now working for the public in theory.
When grifters really, really don't have proof or any material evidence to actually offer people, they resort to remote viewer stories. Sheila Radler is asking, who is 107? He is a Ketard grifter. And how a QAnon influencer became this midterm's most worrying figure. And this is the guy who crazy Kerry Cassidy is saying is JFK Jr. in reality. It's a completely and totally ridiculous conspiracy theory. If you ask me, he looks nothing like JFK. Look at him. Does that look like JFK Jr. to you? Maybe if JFK Jr. started eating, you know, fucking macaroni and cheese 20 times a day for 3 years. I don't know. He's fat. He's out of shape. He's a mess. He speaks completely differently, but that hasn't stopped people like Kerry Cassidy from claiming that he is somehow JFK Jr. and JFK Jr. faked his own death and all of this stuff. It's wild, Sheila. It's Q-tard. It's a Q-tard rabbit hole, basically.
Raise the cash, raise the cash, raise the cash.
For your kindness, generosity, and support. And Frank Pero has heard the call of the memberships. And now, Frank Pero, I always say, if you become a YouTube channel member during the live broadcast, I give you a big shout out and thank you. So big shout out and thank you to Frank Pero, who's now a member. You can check out our members only video section. There's an awful lot of extra goodies there for you. And thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support.
Raise the cash, raise the cash, raise the cash.
And so many new members. Thank you, Frank Pero and Dave with $2. The artwork looks like a pay-to-win mobile game. You are correct, sir. Thank you.
Raise the cash, raise the cash, raise the cash.
All right, and I will check in with the Kick chat every so often. If we have any Kick support to call out, I will be happy to do that. Winter Soldier, hearing the call of the Kick support over there. Winter Soldier has gifted 1 subscription. So thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support. Winter Soldier.
Raise the cash, raise the cash, raise the cash.
Let's get back to the video. I think we're all caught up. Let me make sure on the support call outs. Yes, we are. All right, let's get back to the crazy.
They use their skills to remote view where the market's going to go. Okay. But they also do
You're
all
right,
kinds
Rex
of
Holes.
stuff, woo-woo stuff, as they call it, and so on and so forth.
Thank you,
So
Winter Soldier.
sometimes they actually get the future right, and sometimes they are a little vague. Remote viewing is a little weird this way. I actually have a sort of a short attention span or not. What I do is I remote view the remote viewers. So I like to look at what they're doing. It's like a game for me. I find it
She
interesting.
remote views the
And
remote viewers.
I want to see how accurate they are, number one, how much they really tell you, number two. You understand? Because I'm tracking as an investigative journalist that I feel like I work for the people.
Yeah, remote
so
view
I'm
the lottery
out on
numbers.
the front lines for you, making sure they, whether it's the dark side or the light side, tell you the truth.
Yeah, she's
That's
doing
what I
this
do,
all for us.
okay?
She's a patriot, friends.
So some people think I'm
Frank
a bitch
Pero says remote viewing
and
is shit.
pushy and whatever. But the thing is that someone's got to do it. Okay.
Yeah,
And
someone's got to be a bitch,
find that
Kerry.
these
You're
people
right.
will sort of weasel under, the wire and not tell you the real truth. So I watch them. And I also like to see when they're taken over,
Elizondo,
when
the
they
midget
don't
is
know
here
they're being taken
in the live
over,
chat.
when they're
Welcome,
being
midget
distracted,
Zondo.
and so on and so forth. So when you hear a
She
remote
looks like the
viewer, you
demon
watch
from the
them.
Conjuring movie.
You
Yeah.
need to really watch them like a hawk. And you need to also check in with yourself. Does that sound real? Does that sound true? And analyze it. So
How
that's
much
what I
crack
do.
did Kerry smoke tonight?
And so I just want to say that,
yeah, she's a crack
sometimes
smoker.
they're wrong. And this is the thing about,
I agree,
I
Eddie.
should say his name. Well, there's a certain guy who has a web bot, and that is checking out on all humans, right? On the
talk about
internet,
Cliff High.
and it reads the internet, and then it sends him data. So he likes to pretend that he's such a genius, but actually his web bot is the genius, bringing him your information. Hello, because we are natural precogs.
Science
Think
Evidence
about this.
Fringe is here to
If
be
we
activated.
weren't, would we even be alive on the planet right now? If we didn't have some 6th or 7th, 8th senses that told us a lion was coming around the corner or whatever it was back in the day, or a dragon or whatever you want to call it. So what I'm saying here is that this is the funny thing. A lot of people get credit for what you do and what you are.
Wow,
okay?
She's really throwing shade on Cliff High. That's funny.
So I just want to set the record straight. And that goes for remote viewers as well, who sometimes get it wrong. Okay. But we'll never tell you when they're wrong. Okay. Now, there's a few really good ones and honest ones. Dad Smith,
is
in
that
my
what that
opinion,
is?
is one of
It's
the
a
best.
sovereign citizen
He's also
flag?
one of the most
That's
honest.
funny. Those are crazy.
He's very
people, too.
humble. He's a very, good guy. And I've actually, asked him direct questions a few times, but they won't. They have
She
other
wouldn't be
people
alive
as
on the
guests,
planet
but
without
guess who they won't
Narcan?
have as a guest? Me. So
yep, she was
I
just
also
smoking
did
crack
study
backstage
briefly
right
remote
before this
viewing.
talk.
I'm a psychic already. I have my own, abilities, and I'm also precog. But I basically
what's the difference between a psychic and a precog?
I use remote viewing sporadically, but it works. It does work, and I've had some pretty stunning, revelations along those lines.
Oh, stunning revelations!
But I just say, I see psychic and intuitive abilities, etc., on like a continuum. So it's not like they're not really. They like you to think they're a separate, little thing where you just do what you're told and you just follow protocols and so on. That's not actually completely true. A lot of the best remote viewers are psychics. Okay, like Joe McMoneagle. I'll give you one example there. Price, forget his first name, who passed on. And so on. So there are certain ones that really already were psychics. Okay. All right. So back to this. So when you look at something like this and you get it, it's news, right? So you get something in the news that says Trump has just decided to go over to Alabama and move everything over there. Well, what you don't know is that they're playing a game. The dark side and the white side, or the light side, and don't take, this is not like about David the color of the skin or anything. This is, they call them white hats.
Yeah, by the way, Kerry's incredibly racist. Idea, so she has to tell you she's not a racist all the time.
Who was a forensic financial investigator, and some of the white hats, way before they went public originally, when they basically started a website, and it was called the White Hats Report. And that's back when I was working with them. So I started working with them around 2010. Okay, so look how long I've been watching these.
Well, they must be white hats if their website's
like white on
called
rice.
the web,
okay,
so
even around that time, 107 actually did come forward, but he came forward under Wayne Willett, and Wayne Willett probably was also doing some shows. So there's two guys. There's 107, who's JFK Jr., and I've met him in person, talked with him at length, and he knows that I'm out here saying he's JFK Jr. He never contradicted me, and I can tell that whole story if people are interested much later. But bottom line is he and Trump are like good best friends, okay?
Great.
And so you've got the hidden guy, which is 107, wearing a Santa Claus outfit for all intents and purposes, big fat stomach, now big long white beard. I don't know.
Oh, that's the reason he looks nothing like JFK
big
Jr.
cowboy
because he's wearing
hat,
a fat
boots,
suit. Come on.
2 pairs of pants, having a bodysuit, a whole mask, like Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible. So just wrap your mind around that. And I've got photos on my site. I'm not supposed to have.
I'm sorry, but this bitch is batshit crazy.
Because this is my philosophy. A lot of my colleagues know exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, so that John F. Kennedy Jr. was trained as a lawyer because his mother didn't want him to become an actor. Well, it looks like he became both. So he gives legal advice to Trump. And, he's one of the people that Trump really listens to.
Oh,
he gets phone calls, even when he's on shows sometimes, from Trump. Really. So, Nino is his little protege, that kind of thing.
Nino's that wackadoo that has Wilcock on his show. He's a very sweet,
loving man, the real John F. Kennedy Jr., okay? And I have been told by certain people that are in the know that he is above a general level, okay, in the white hat military.
He's totally just
he was trained in the military, went into the military. He was never in the time when he was supposedly dead, right? After 1999. So that's the story. That's the backbone of the white hats, the people that.
Okay, so if we believe her, JFK Jr. faked his own death, and then he was trained by the military while he was supposed to be dead. Echo with $5, hearing the call of the goal. Echo's been a big supporter lately and is a YouTube channel member. Thank you, Echo. Says, why make the super soldier a cartoon instead of real super soldiers? Hard to take her seriously while she's standing next to that gold pointy thing. Yeah, you would think, like, she just looks ridiculous. She's standing next to a fucking cartoon super soldier. This just screams credibility, Echo, but thank you. We'll get all caught up in Sheila Radler. Reverse image that super soldier Comic-Con standee. Well, I'm a little busy running the show right now. Somebody do it and let us know what are the results. Where did they get that image from? It's probably from a Halo website or something like that, Sheila Radler, if I had to venture a guess. But thank you for your kindness and continued support. Sheila Radler is a big supporter, offering big support tonight and helping us to...
Raise the cash, raise the cash, raise the cash.
That is correct. Praising the cash. And Tim Curley, also a big show supporter, says Bill Ryan moved to South America to get away from this crazy twat. That is correct, sir. She did. He moved to a whole nother country to get away from this crazy bitch.
Raise the cash, raise the cash, raise the cash.
You, Tim Curley, hearing the call of the goal. And we're making great progress at a good clip tonight towards the goal. So far, we're at, what are we at? What's going on? Oh, 8 of 20. Almost halfway to the goal. Let's get halfway there. It's easier after we get to the halfway mark, friends. That's what Darkside Phil says. I don't know. Right? You're missing a big opportunity. Bo Pointy. What? No. Let's continue with the craziness, right? Let's continue with the crazy.
That are working to save your ass and to save the United States. So if you don't know that, then you're going to look at Trump, even as if you consider yourself a MAGA member, you're just going to go, what crazy thing is he up to now? It's not like that. Okay?
Oh, no, he's not crazy at all.
Over 200 generals, okay?
Well, he's the fucking commander-in-chief. He's working with all the fucking generals, you moron.
Put him in office, first of all. And a bunch of, psychics, remote viewers, you name it, okay? And I offered to help,
people pay to listen to this,
but they wouldn't let me sign anything. He said it was, quote unquote, too late. This was like, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago. And
goal is 19.
It's never too late
Armageddon super chat was never recorded.
Or a supporter.
No, the goal's
and
not 19.
What I just want to make a big point of is that they're never going to save this world, this earth, without you. Think about that. You are very important. And I know we don't have a huge audience here, but over the years, back in the day, I had 70 million viewers on YouTube.
Yeah, Armageddon sent
before they actually deleted my channel overnight because of one sentence that Robert Steele said about COVID back in 2021.
Yeah, she got her YouTube channel deleted for medical disinformation because she was a completely fucking batshit crazy COVID conspiracy theorist.
And I'd been a YouTube director, creator for 20 years, almost 20 years at that point. So that's how sick it is. And if anyone is going to get a class action suit,
it's just an AI generated soldier
all the money
image.
That
I believe that's correct.
Trump just got. Hello, I'm over here. Because I had a huge YouTube channel that they just wiped
that's interesting,
off the map. Okay?
Yeah, because you didn't follow the rules.
So what I'm trying to say here is that we are their support. You are.
I think she's on like Rumble now, but she's back to YouTube
why the
too.
Super Soldier image is very important, and thank you so much, James Rink. And so I want to say that once you realize that and that you're saving the world for your children.
Oh, we're all saving the world. Yes.
And make sure that your children know the truth. I know it's difficult to tell children these sophisticated things like someone's out to get them,
she's the queen of rambling nonsense, though.
It's true.
Kerry has been a crack smoker for 50 years.
Tons of whistleblower testimony, and they all coincide. None of them know each other.
And half of her whistleblowers are fucking criminals.
Tell me the same story. Military people
jerk off instruction
that
soldier,
are blown away,
JOI,
because we've got reptilians standing guard in underground bases on the military side.
Yeah, it makes her feel important.
I mean, Richard Allen Miller, he's here. He's a wonderful man. He's a brilliant physicist. I've interviewed him over dozens of times, he says to me. And he is basically one of the good guys. He's a white hat. He works for Navy intelligence.
She seems like a big
basically Navy intelligence more or less runs this secret space force you name it. Okay, so they're kind of like the top rung.
Super soldiers use filters to be
it may
prettier.
have changed
Yes,
since
Rui, yes.
then, because now we have Space Force being kind of in charge and so forth. So let me get back to this. I'm sorry, every slide I could talk for an hour. But anyway,
quarter pounders catching
the bottom line
strays.
here is that Tina, forgetting her last name, but anyway, wait 1 second. Okay, so Tina is someone who found out about the steal. She was working looking at the ballot things and taking pictures and getting the real evidence for the steal, and they arrested her, put her in prison.
He learned his word salad
I don't
from
know,
her
in
for
her
sure.
70s or 80s or something like this.
That is correct.
And she's been languishing in jail all this
Space
time,
Force in
several
charge of the
years
alliance
actually,
confirmed, yes.
which is incredible. And she should have, when Trump came back into office, as far as I'm concerned, she should have been released from jail, boom, like that. Okay, but one of the sort of stumbling blocks that we have is that the white hats are trying to do things legally, whereas the dark hats don't give a shit. Okay, and they'll do anything to get their way. You know, and that includes people like the mob who work for them.
That might be
you
true,
know, and
Matthew
so
Wilk.
forth.
Yeah.
So you can't, you know, you have to kind of look at the situation and understand that the Trump white hats don't always do everything legally. They do a lot of things that's hidden. So we don't know if they're actually following a law, but it's really hard to fight an enemy who's not following laws, and then you are.
I'm surprised she doesn't use the
but
dialects in her
perception
talks, Rex
of the American people. Now, I have a big issue with this. So moving Space Force.
So she lied about her education. Great.
I mean, you know, a lot of the space stuff out of Colorado was like basically the fortress where all of our
I haven't heard that, Bob
secret
Marley.
space, heavy duty space
These
stuff.
nuts
all
are in the
resides,
alliance.
In case you
Yes.
don't know that, especially Colorado Springs.
Be careful, Caleb. She's going to want to lick your
all
nuts.
Of you know about the Denver
These
airport,
nuts.
I guess. So what we're talking about is the reason they did
White
that
hats,
in
AKA
part,
coke
and
dealers.
I'm sure there's maybe some
Dark
other
hats, AKA
more
heroin
covert
dealers.
reasons,
She uses
is because Tina was being
Yes.
kept in jail, in prison, and they would not release her, and they couldn't get any kind of motion through the courts to get her out. Okay, so far. And so payback is Trump just decided, you know, just to move everything out of there.
Radar
what does that
indicates
do? It
anomalies.
takes jobs
What?
away from the Colorado people. The trouble with Colorado right now is that even though it was the bastion of the Space Force and the space program, secret space program, mostly underground, is that
there's
jobs.
There's no space anything in Colorado. It's all in Florida, you dumb fucking moron, retarded woman.
Okay, so the jobs are leaving, and that way what they're trying to do is use you. Okay, so again, it's the people that
she
suffer.
capitalizes
So
random words.
Using you.
Well, that's what she does when the crack
so
is really kicking in, Spooky.
She capitalizes complain
things.
And say, what the fuck is going on? What happened to my job, right? And why did you make Trump so pissed off that he just moved everything? And see, none of that is out there. Because you see the news, you see that
Caleb,
Tina,
tell her.
I'm sorry, I forget her last name.
Your nuts are in the 20 and back program.
Peters, okay. Tina Peters, you know, she was fighting for the White Hats when she did what she did. Okay, so they should rescue her. Hello. Now, I know that Juan O'Savin, JFK Jr., is trying to do so. He's been busting his ass to help her.
Well, there's a jump room to Mars.
He is a lawyer by training, you know, which is a good thing and not. So the thing is, the things they do illegal, they do in secret. But Tina Peters and her case is public. Okay, just like Comey is public. Okay, so the public things they try to do by the book, unfortunately, actually. So, and the trouble that I have with this whole thing is that they don't spell it out like I am doing right now. They do not tell you what's happening, why it's happening. Why did they stage the assassination of Charlie Kirk? Okay?
Oh boy.
Because
I knew she was going to jump on the Charlie Kirk conspiracy
and do the research. Then what you find out is that Charlie Kirk was chosen, and Juan O'Savin said this several times, that he was chosen to be the next Bobby Kennedy for this generation, which is the next in line for the presidency. Hello? He made that comment. That's what they do. They seed little comments, just like the Q drops and stuff. And if you're not paying attention, then you don't hear it, you don't know. That's why they had to put him in hiding, is in theory that he was under the gun to be assassinated by the dark side. So what they do is they
the
stage
dark forces are going to
false
assassinate
flag, as
him.
we call it. They set the whole thing up. There's tons of evidence out there. I've done a video analyzing it from start to finish.
There's tons of evidence. Can you show us the evidence, Kerry? Yeah, a remote viewer said this happened.
I even knew from the beginning, because I just happened to see a piece of film in which I saw that he was not Charlie Kirk sitting in that chair.
Oh, so Charlie Kirk wasn't murdered.
And I'm used to seeing
it was a stand-in.
107 in his disguise, so maybe that gave me, you know, I was clued in about that. So the bottom line is that this is the kind of thing they do. So then they stage a funeral. I mean, are you kidding me? They're deceiving you.
I just want to say, for the benefit of Charlie Kirk and his friends, his wife, his children, his family, his mother, his father, his in-laws, his friends, his neighbors, his employees, and all of the people that were very close to Charlie Kirk and who love him, fuck this bitch. Fuck this bitch making money, taking a live speaking fee, and pushing completely ridiculous, unproven conspiracy theories like, well, they didn't really kill Charlie Kirk. They killed it was somebody in disguise. It was a stand-in. And then they staged his funeral. Like, bitch, if that was my brother or somebody very close to me, I would come and correct you in person every time you took money to spread this false, malicious, fake conspiracy theory about a person in my family. How dare you take money and just make up completely, totally fake shit about somebody who was just brutally murdered? This is the level of fucking disgusting, despicable depravity. This bitch has no empathy, no sympathy for her fellow man. If she did, she would understand that maybe his widow and his children are going through enough and they don't need to be re-victimized by some crazy bitch at a fucking wackadoo convention saying that he wasn't really murdered and his funeral was faked.
Drives me crazy because they're using the people, their emotions, right?
Yeah, scammy.
I don't think that's the right approach personally, but they're using that. And then they say, oh, he had a detail that was protecting him that was Israeli. And then people start going banana crackers, blaming the Israelis for something the white hats did. Okay. But these are the kinds of things they're doing. They're doing nefarious things. Sometimes they're wholly to blame, and sometimes they're just
I wish I never saw that
late
video.
to the game. Like they don't get the right intel at the right time. I think Lahaina, they didn't get the right intel at the right time, so they got caught. Okay. And during Lahaina, which was an attack on Space Force, it wasn't even an attack on the land or the people or stuff. They were just collateral.
I love how this woman is like, everything the media tells you is completely and totally fake and wrong. And I'm going to tell you the truth about what's really happening. What's really happening? People are attacking Space Force. Well, if you know anything about actual reality, Kerry, they don't even have, Space Force has no launch vehicles. They have no assets in space right now. Well, maybe they have some satellites, but I'm not really aware. So how are we attacking Space Force who has nothing to attack? They're basically just a beginning of a bureaucracy. They have no, they have no bases to attack as far as I'm concerned or am aware. How is Space Force under attack? Or is this just fucking ridiculous fantasies that you come up with in your own schizophrenic, crack-riddled mind? Maybe you should put the crack pipe down, Kerry. Put the crack pipe down!
Damage. You got to understand this, okay? So when you start analyzing the news that you hear today or tomorrow, you got to think about how does this link up with that?
Oh,
and
maybe.
figure it all out. And when I follow the trail, I found out that there were these installations in the water, and that they could have been alerted and stopped the whole attack.
Oh, I'm going to put her on my list, Plan B. She's another crazy bitch.
They had, I believe,
Kirk's family should sue her.
To Space Force within NORAD.
She is a sorry excuse for a human.
And I believe it was a high-level individual, and so
Cracko.
So
she's a
you have to use your own intuition and figure out the way you look at something and see if it resonates. I'm always looking to see, am I right? Am I wrong?
Yeah, every conspiracy theory she can in one sentence.
I'm not trying to say I'm a genius remote viewer or anything like that.
Oh, okay. But so I'm not a genius, but I'm right all the time.
Because I get the right answer almost all the time, and I check myself out. Okay, so
really, maybe you should have remote viewed Charlie Kirk's funeral, and then you would know it was a real funeral. You fucking dumb degenerate bitch.
That's how you learn to be a better psychic or a better remote viewer, is to figure out what did you get right and what did you get wrong.
At Club Q.
Okay, so you know how people are always talking. We have tons of doubles.
She's not a wackadoo. She's a
I'm not sure how many, but this appears.
She's not a wackadoo. She's a crackadoo.
In Alaska, shaking hands with Putin, and hopefully that's the real Putin. Look at the height difference.
Yes, Bigfoot did design the Jewish space
laders. Trump
Everybody
are short
should know
and
that.
fat.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is how you tell the difference. But what do you get? You get CNN or other people going, "Oh, that stupid Trump, he's like a
crazy
fat,
bitch of the year
guy."
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many pundits out there talk about him like that. But actually, he's not, and he's a genius. That's a fact.
Trump is a genius.
How
does a genius
by the way,
declare
one of the
bankruptcy
reasons he's
so
in
much,
office,
then?
as far as I'm concerned, and no one else says this.
You got to tie in the conspiracy theory. She's going to mention his
uncle.
I bet
Trump,
you. There he is. There it is.
Worked on getting all the papers
Trump's
from Tesla, which is all the free energy information and all his brilliant devices, and secreted them away to the deep state. Okay. So in their world, they owed that family a debt. And the way they pay it is by letting Trump be president. But he was probably only supposed to be president for a short time. Maybe they were going to assassinate him, whatever. But the White Hats took matters into their own hands after the Kennedy assassination.
Yes, according to Kerry Cassidy,
and really
Trump
decided
is a genius.
to, hit the ground running and do some really
guy who said we should inject
stuff.
Bleach into our
so that's
bodies
what you're
to
looking
kill
at.
COVID. He's a genius.
You're looking, in a sense, at two secret cabals working in public and in secret, mainly in secret, to do nefarious acts against each other. And in the middle are you. You're in the middle, okay? And you're being messed with, and it's like a tug of war over you. So they're pulling you this way and they're pulling you that way, right? The good guys are pulling and trying to convince you, oh, we're right, right? No one describes the playing field to you.
She's bad
because they don't want you to understand. I mean, I just got banned off of Wano Savin's Telegram channel because he didn't want me commenting in his comments section.
Yeah, you're too crazy even for a Q-tard crazy.
He's got a guy working for him. And now they're starting a YouTube channel for Wano Savin, which he wasn't on YouTube. He was only on Rumble. So now, but every day when you go, if you watch what Juan says and the way he says it, she
needs to go back to wackadoo.
Now, I don't know if he trips up on purpose or by accident. Probably a little of both.
Alex
because
Jones did
psychologically
get
he's got issues.
Erica Kirk should sue Cassidy and Candace.
Well, wouldn't you have issues? John F. Kennedy is your father. You're fighting the good fight, trying to be the best you can be, live up to the image, all that kind of stuff. And then on top of it,
cuckoo, says Alex.
You got emotionality going on. So on one show, I love this. He was talking to somebody. I don't know if it was Nino or someone. And he was talking about, Bobby Kennedy, Robert Kennedy. And his family, right?
Kerry. Yes.
And he was going, Robbie,
she's got to lay off the
Robbie
crack.
that, and Robbie. And he doesn't even realize, to you, he's Robbie. To us,
Candace
he ain't Robbie.
Stephen
Okay?
I don't know.
So why are you saying Robbie?
That bitch is crazy.
If you're just some guy in a disguise and
Shadows
not
of Project Camelot.
because he's family, he has to say Robbie because that's what they called him. Understand what I'm saying? A slip up
Or he
Most
could be
people have
friends
no
with him
idea.
and
They
call
haven't
him
done their
Robbie.
homework.
Doesn't mean he's JFK,
Okay, and there's
you crazy
other
bitch.
things. I even have a picture of him
Project
dressing
Hamilton.
in a trailer at the Ronald Reagan Library, where the camera panned over to him, his reflection in the dressing room mirror, and you can see the whole bodysuit. And his hair's all long and messy, and it was insane. He was on with Nino. And I have other, short bits where they, the camera tracked over and wasn't supposed to, that kind of thing. And he shoots his hands up. You look at his hands, because he'll let you see his feet and his hands. Well, his hands, they're all fat, like a fat guy. So it fits his image. Once in a while, every once in a strange while, he doesn't shoot up his hands the way he's supposed to. I'm assuming it's a shooting up of, what do you call that? Silicon or whatever the hell they put in there. But they're all fat and chubby. And then he takes it away and his hands are all skinny and kind of bony like an older man, the way it would be, right?
Yes, 5-year-olds
I'm just saying,
do
these are
make
little
up better
tricks.
stories.
You can pay attention or ignore it. You can think I'm crazy or ignore it. I can tell you that a lot of my colleagues have come to me, and a lot of people, and said, you're right. We know you're right. But they won't say anything. Now, why do I say something and they don't?
Pop Ready?
Because
I think she was smoking crack
his soul, and I decided that he was actually doing a sacrifice, a self-sacrifice too far. And that his soul, look, when he first was doing all of this 107 stuff, he was driving around in a red hot rod, right? A souped up, lovely, whatever, Lotus. I don't even know the names of the kind of cars.
I agree. Too many political.
What was he doing? And I actually made a comment in public, I analyzed his whole psychology, and I said,
she is obsessed with Juan.
Why does a covert guy,
maybe she wants to get
under the radar, race around in these luxurious
She's
cars?
Hungry for
and that's
JFK
what he does. He buys and sells luxurious cars. And he spends a lot of time at Mar-a-Lago, and he does this, and you can document it. It's actually, he shows you he's there, blah, blah, blah. You have to say to yourself, come on, if you're supposed to be covert, be covert. I don't know if no one has the guts to say to him, this is crazy. Why are you doing that? Yeah. Whatever it is. I do. Because I want to save his soul. I'm not so worried about, the person. And I know that the deep state knows what I know. They know who he is. They know where he is. They know what he's doing and what he's wearing and you name it, right? Would you not be on him 24/7, okay, if he is who I say he is? So, of course, they knew before I knew, and I only found out I always thought that he was alive. I didn't know he was 107 for sure. I didn't agree until I met him in person, and he just somewhat, his face didn't look right, his whole everything. And I found out later he was wearing this whole body disguise and a mask and everything. Because 3 months later, I had nonstop dreams all night long of Trump and JFK Jr. telling me how he did his disguise, about their relation, about this, about that. And that I also had periodic dreams going on for a year. Not so much anymore, okay? But once in a while, I do still get a dream. So this is the thing we're talking about. We're talking about, it's kind of, I know it's a little strange.
It's a little strange.
Very likely is this expert in media who is JFK Jr. What was he before he disappeared? He was about to hire an investigative journalist, a very famous one, to investigate the death of John F. Kennedy, his father.
I agree, Rex.
That's what he was doing before they suicided him, or they,
people paid hundreds of dollars to listen to this shit.
And do you think the Secret Service, Jackie used to go crazy because the Secret Service was on her kid like white on rice constantly, right? If you know Secret Service or you've ever met those kind of people that are protecting the president, blah, blah, blah. One thing they do is they are always on the job. That's how they think, right? And can you imagine John F. Kennedy's son? Would they not be on him like white on rice and protecting him in every which way? Do you think they wouldn't know that Hillary was out to get him, that she couldn't stand to have him in the race with her? This stuff is so freaking obvious. And yet you won't believe how many people are like, oh no, he's not. No, he is.
Can you imagine you paid $500
it's going to
to
come
hear
out
from
one of these
Super
days.
Soldiers, and
I
this
assume.
crazy bitch gets up and starts
Michael
this
Jackson, okay, maybe Prince, Diana. I mean, I can keep naming them. Okay, celebrities who have been either fake suicided
Yes, let's
or
smash the goal
fake
for the slop.
assassinated,
Yes.
or whatever it was. In
Let's
other
get
words,
some
they didn't want
support.
to do the game anymore.
I will call
Sean
out
David Martin
every super
talked to
chat
Jim
tonight.
Morrison
Let's
on the
get some
phone.
more.
He lives in the Pacific Northwest. Because Sean was like me. He
We're only
had
at 8
secret
of 20.
contacts
We're not even halfway to
in
the
the
goal.
secret community,
God
right?
bless the goal.
And so they, Sean, maybe Sean David Martin passed away about a year ago.
Stravinsky, I wouldn't pay more than $400 to listen to this.
With a cancer that they gave him in prison for whatever reason. And they also beat him up and tortured him, even though he was a white-collar prisoner. So I just want to say that, if you understand the game, you're in the game. You might as well learn its rules, okay? They're going to mess with you. The smarter, more aware you are, the more of an influencer you are in your community, okay? You will be targeted. But we're all being targeted.
Says, I'll believe what my fortune cookie tells me over this wackadoo.
They are beaming frequencies at us constantly.
Her grifting money
this latest really video I just put it on my Telegram called nano
family doesn't
something
talk
like nano humans or whatever they called it.
I probably agree.
I just want to tell you they don't even need nano to track you. They don't need
maybe
to put a chip in a card or on you or anything. That's not how they do it, okay? The aliens have already taught them how to track you by frequency. That's how they see you. You have a signature, a light signature.
That killed Kenny? Or did you mean
some
Kennedy?
of us are brighter than others, right? So this is the game, okay? And they want you, okay, anything they suddenly say they're going to roll out, and that includes, Elon, is 10 years old, at least. According to my whistleblowers, and not just one.
According to my
In other words, the military has been doing whatever they're talking about for at least 10 years and just not telling you. So if you start to really understand the game, you will not be so deceived. All right. And, if you fell for the jab, well, I'm very sorry.
True?
Okay.
Nicotine destroys nanotechnology.
Now you know that it also.
Well, I should be good because I smoke like a fiend.
Nano jumps. So. The spike protein nano package jumps. So we're all infected with this bullshit.
Our speechwriter has done a top-notch job.
It already happened. It's not starting to happen, okay? These deaths died suddenly,
that's the sovereign citizen
It's been going
flag.
on, but they planned it this way. They planned to have a slow rollout.
She should pay us to listen to her. That is correct.
The stupid from the smarter, the ones that didn't take it, or I'm sorry, a little smarter than the ones that did. That's a common.
Oh, that's interesting, Georgina
that
Gruen was going to go.
The ones and your family members and everybody were a little bit stupid.
Good idea.
They were more programmed.
Don't encourage them with cash.
And they fell for it. It's a sad place to be, but it's true. It's time for humans to be honest with each other.
Not a lot of Kerry fans in my audience.
With each other, and to break through the
Mark Richards is watching this live
programming
from his jail cell.
That's going on constantly.
Yes.
All right?
For those unaware, one of her big sources is this guy Mark Richards, who is a complete and total lunatic that's been in jail for like 30 years for a brutal murder he orchestrated. But according to Kerry, he teleports out of his jail cell to save Earth every night. She is completely batshit crazy to believe somebody like that, like just completely batshit crazy. And oh my God, how long does this go? Oh, not too much longer. We should make it to the end of Kerry.
Okay, now where am I here?
Talk.
All right.
She doesn't even know where she is in her own bullshit.
This is the question.
She's making my brain hurt.
Yes, we have a president.
That's the crackhead
we think
flag.
Trump is in charge, and so forth. And the MAGA people love to say, first, let me do this. I don't know. You don't have to. If you're scared, you don't have to raise your hand. But how many people in the crowd are MAGA? If you feel comfortable. Yeah. I am. Hello? Anybody? Okay. So
Yeah, she's a MAGA Q-tard lunatic as well as
I was just speaking at a conference in New York. 50, it's really pathetic, but it's the first conference she ever did, so maybe that's why, but it's on Long Island, and maybe that's why. Only 50 people bought tickets. Of the 50, 18 people never showed up.
That's
and we found out
Georgina.
once we were there by some local people that the reason they didn't come after they bought tickets is because they were afraid to be associated with a MAGA. It was at this America First little venue. They were afraid to be seen at that venue, that they'd be targeted, they'd be tracked, right? Like they're not reading your emails and listening to your phone calls anyway.
Yes, Mark Richards is bilking her for money. Yeah, but she's making a lot of money selling his fake stories.
Because there's a lot of contradictions going on, a lot of lies.
Kerry makes hardcore MAGA look
So I think I've covered most of this, but the bottom line, what I'm trying to tell you is
she doesn't sell tickets. That is correct.
We'll move here. I want to say is that look at the events that happen and then figure out who's responsible. Is it a white hat op? Is it a dark side
going all in on the crazy?
Okay, yes. Or is it a real, climate change or something? Okay, or is the climate change being augmented?
Got any support to read out over there? Let's get some kick subs.
That hit 3i Atlas. Was that just an accident? All right. You look at this beam that I don't know, they showed in photographs, whether it's really the beam, I don't know. But, they show you this and it's out in way the hell out there, in outer space, kind of like nothing else around, no big planet, no nothing.
Conspiracies.
And it hits dead on 3i Atlas. Whether you think it's a comet or whatever you think it is, I mean, obviously it's not. It's a technological alien vehicle, but nonetheless,
this is absolutely bonkers.
It took that hit from a CME, like, can you imagine this? And just took it and just computerized it, separated into particles, and probably fed on it. Probably put it into their fuel tank or whatever.
Oh, the aliens put it in their fuel tank.
Do you understand what's happening here? Aliens have taught us how to redirect
what's happening here.
Solar flares. And solar flares CMEs are directed away from hitting Earth dead on many, many times. Okay, so they watch it and that's their job.
Oh, come on.
Space Force also does this.
This is totally bullshit.
So
come on, there's amateur astronomers with telescopes. If people were really redirecting solar flares with some kind of technology, somebody would capture imagery of that, you fucking moron. But don't let anything like facts or evidence get in the way. Yeah, wait, isn't she a remote viewer and she doesn't know what 3i Atlas is? Exactly. How foolish of me to think it might be a rock. Can't believe nobody's walked out yet. She switches topics every 1.5 seconds. Yeah, I swear she sounds like a fucking lunatic crackhead every time I hear her give a talk. None of it makes any sense at all.
And you think something's natural. I'm afraid to tell you that weather is not natural anymore. It hasn't been natural.
Weather's all man-made. Okay.
I don't even know. 40 years at least, probably much longer.
They've been controlling the weather for 40 years. JFK is still alive, and he's disguising himself in a fat suit. Aliens taught us to redirect solar flares away from Earth, and she's got superpowers. That's the recap so far, friends.
Okay.
And the reptilian aliens are eating children underground. We got to keep that in mind, too.
I mean, I can remember I worked for Jet Propulsion Lab as a contractor.
Oh, God.
JPL, NASA, hello? And that's after I worked in Hollywood for 19 years. And I was
she worked in Hollywood,
trying to teach them to
she worked on the casting couch
with their rover and try to advertise that and do different things. So I worked with scientists and engineers on a daily basis.
Yeah, lots of new info tonight. Yeah.
And they are a strange group of people, I'll tell you.
Well,
one thing they like to do is sit in meetings and put each other down. I mean, I'm not kidding. Right in public, just saying, that is the stupidest idea I've ever fucking heard. And this. That's how they talk to each other. I was flabbergasted. But this
You're right, Dave B.
That's scientists, okay?
She was a fluffer in Hollywood.
And, Avi Loeb. How many people are following 3i Atlas?
She's a lunatic crackhead.
Good. Excellent. And Richard Allen Miller.
She worked the corner of Hollywood and Vine.
Where?
She does look like a beat up old hooker.
Now,
he knows
you
ever see those old hookers in the hood that have been a hooker way too long? They're all beat to shit looking.
He does. And he is the sweetest person, but he is a master magus, so you better be afraid of him, except he's very sweet. But I got to tell you, he knows totally what the hell 3i Atlas is. I put it together. That's what I do.
The fluffer job was her dream
working
job.
with David Sereda, who's brilliant. If you saw my shows with him, go back and watch them if you haven't. David started telling me the trajectory of 3i Atlas.
He sells $3,000 magic wands that don't do anything.
They can track everywhere it's going to be and everywhere it's been, which is amazing. And David does that mathematically.
No, I think she actually is just crazy.
And the evidence started to come forward that a lot of those points coincided with Anunnaki back in history, ancient Egypt, and Sumeria. Okay.
Yes.
And everyone out there's going, a lot of people there's, I'm psychic. And I'm going to tell you, they're all friendly and all this kind of thing. And I'm like, no. And then I talked to David and I was like, oh my God, thank you, God, that I have good instincts. I didn't exactly know how I knew what I know. And I know I have a lot of unseen help. There's no doubt about it, or I'd be dead by now. But the thing is that the correlations are there. You can't avoid it. Mathematics is kind of like that. The answer is the answer, right? So as he's tracking it, I'm going, oh my God, that's an Anunnaki this, and that's an Anunnaki that. And this is, they're trying to be.
And the Anunnaki stories were all debunked as mistranslated by Zecharia Sitchin. So every time you hear a fucking lunatic talking about Anunnaki, they're basically repeating completely and totally mistranslated information from ancient history. Has she ever been on Truth Seekers? No, she wouldn't come on my show. I would rip her to shreds, and she knows it. She's a pussy. She's a coward. She will never come on a show that's critical. She's got 20 years of wacky claims that I could call her out on. She would never, ever come on my show. But maybe we should ask her, and if she's dumb enough to not do any research, we would have a really fun night interviewing her.
Kings, they're trying to tell you, they're signaling to our Space Force and whoever's listening out here.
Sorry to hear that.
They're still your rulers, and they want you to be your kings.
Why?
And all this kind of shit. And I'm like, no, I don't think so. And so I'm figuring, okay, they're going to shoot it down.
Boxed wine and crackhead session.
Went to sleep in the middle of the day, like just a short sleep. And all of a sudden I had this dream that they're going to shoot it down. Well, they have tried. They tried with the CME and it didn't work. I think they thought doing it that way, you'd think it was a natural occurrence.
Yes, she's definitely had some boxed wine, Patty Wilhelm.
No. So it didn't work. Now, what happens with you got two bad guys and one bad guy shoots a gun and misses? Does the other guy, bad guy, just stand there and just go, that's nice? No. What they're going to do is shoot back, very likely. Now, what's so convenient right after the CME was swallowed by this whale, which is I think it's in a Dyson sphere. Richard Hoagland, I'm in a news group with Richard Hoagland.
There's no evidence it's in a Dyson sphere. She doesn't even know what
he's the one who brought forward.
She's a fucking moron. A Dyson sphere is a theoretical construct which covers an entire star and soaks up the energy of the star and essentially beams it to a nearby planet or other star system or whatever. This is not a sun. There couldn't be a Dyson sphere around it. Why would somebody put a Dyson sphere around something that is not emitting solar radiation and energy, you fucking moron? She doesn't even know. Like, oh my gosh. Jaco de Jong from the Netherlands has gifted 1 Truth Seekers membership. And this, my friends, is why you got to hit that subscribe button. Because when a kind and generous soul like Jacques de Jong from the Netherlands comes here and gifts a membership, you could win one, but you must be in the live chat when they gift these memberships, and you must be a subscriber. So hit that subscribe button. You could win a free membership, friends.
Raise the cash, raise the cash, raise the cash.
She was one of the first ever I saw. Yeah, that makes sense. I didn't take long until I started figuring out all these cons out. Yeah, it would take about 10 minutes to figure out she's a con artist, scammer, grifter, right?
In case you don't recognize his name. And he wrote a book with Mike Barra, who's, speaking here.
Mike Barra is another fucking lunatic.
All about NASA, the symbolism they use, how they're black magicians. Hello? Seriously. And I worked there, and I can attest to this. So what happens is they actually know what's going on, but now it's gone behind the sun, and supposedly they don't have any access behind the sun to see what's going on over there.
I don't know
but
if I did
actually
it.
we do.
I apologize.
If you know
Praise
the secret world,
Shaco.
if you know our solar system, and you know it's guarded by Solar Warden.
Thank you, Jacques de Jong.
Space Force flying around, talk to Randy Kramer, who knows all about it. A super soldier, by the way, a Marine who's still alive.
Randy Kramer's there.
Who I heard speak in Yelm, Washington, who said in 3 years, we're going to have a Project Bluebeam alien invasion. It's going to be fake, and then the real one's going to happen.
Oops. Sorry about that. One moment. I apologize. I don't know what I did, but I threw myself out of my own live stream. So let me share my screen. They found us out. Yes, we're under attack by the men in black and the deep state. Boy, yeah, I apologize. I don't know what happened. I got confused, and I tried to refresh the live stream on YouTube because I was looking for the goal numbers. 9 of 20. We are at 9 of 20, friends. Let's get to the goal. We're almost halfway there. Did I miss one? Yes, I missed one from Flint Westwood. I think we all need to tell Discount Stevie Nicks to go back to music or something. Get her, get this crazy crack smoking bitch.
Raise the cash, raise the cash, raise the cash.
Kerry Cassidy was smoking crack, and then she did a 20 and back, right? Kerry Cassidy's 20 and back is when she runs down to the local, she goes down the way with $20 and buys $20 worth of crack rocks. And then she goes back home and smokes the crack. She did a 20 and back, friends. She went on a journey down to the hood to buy some crack cocaine, and then she came back. Yeah, I don't know about that. Kerry must be remote viewing us and is angry. Yeah, that's what it is. That's definitely what it is.
Does the other guy, bad guy, just stand there and just go, that's nice? No. What they're going to do is shoot back. Very likely. Now, what's so convenient, right after the CME was swallowed by this whale, which is I think it's in a Dyson sphere.
It's not in a Dyson sphere,
I'm in a
fucking
news group
moron.
with Richard Hoagland. I've interviewed him years ago, and he's a brilliant scientist that worked for NASA. He's the one who brought forward the face on Mars, in case you don't recognize his name.
And he was completely and totally fake.
And he wrote a book with Mike Barra, who's, speaking here.
And a scammer too.
And
yes.
anyway, all about NASA, the symbolism they use, how they're black magicians. Hello? Seriously. And I worked there, and I can attest to this. So what happens is they actually know what's going on, but now it's gone behind the sun.
Oh, 3i Atlas is going behind the sun. Sam Corbin with 1 for the goal, my friend, he says. Well, thank you, Sam Corbin, and thank you for your kindness and continued support. Big support from Sam Corbin, who's also a member. Thank you for both.
Raise the cash, raise the cash, raise the cash.
All right, my friends, we are now officially halfway to the goal. We're 10 of 20. Let's get the other 10 and do some overtime about this crazy woman, right? And yes, it gets crazier than this. I guarantee if we hit the overtime, Gaia is a cult. That is correct. I believe that.
And supposedly they don't have any access behind the sun to see what's going on over there. But actually we do.
Holy jeez.
If you know the secret
She talks
world,
for another hour.
if you know our solar system, and you know it's guarded by Solar Warden, this whole space force flying around, talk to Randy Kramer, who knows all about it. A super soldier, by the way, a Marine who's still alive.
She's not a Marine.
I've heard speak in Yelm, Washington.
He's not a Marine, you fucking moron. He never was a Marine. He's never been a Marine. He's a complete and total stolen valor fraud who was running medbed scams. And you're citing him like he's a credible source and not a fucking crackhead like you. You know what I think? I think Randy Kramer and her got together, smoked crack, and then she pegged Randy Kramer. That's what I think. I think they both, thank you, yes, behind the sun or through the sun. I think before the conference, before they got up on stage, they both smoked crack, and then Kerry Cassidy put on a strap on and butt banged Randy Kramer, the medbed scammer, fake super soldier. That's what I think, right?
Who said in 3 years we're going to have a Project Bluebeam alien invasion. It's going to be fake, and then the real one's going to happen. So
I think at this conference,
how are you going to do a fake alien?
I think when you go to one of these super soldier conference, smoking crack before you listen to the speakers is mandatory. Like, you're not allowed to not smoke crack before you listen to what these fucking people have to say. They want you to believe it. And the only way you would believe anything any of these people say is if you were literally smoking crack while you were listening, right? Yeah, Randy does look like the type of guy who would like a good butt banging. Yeah, he definitely does, for sure. Absolutely.
Invasion, when the real ones are already here. He came stomping down off the stage like this.
They put MDMA
right
in the water bottles.
A Marine, like he was going to beat the shit out of me because I triggered him. Thank God he stopped. He was on camera.
She does look like she knows her way around the strap-on.
You're supposed to control him.
You got to bring your own crack.
This is the kind of thing that goes on. So
BYOC, bring your own crack.
3 years to go, an alien invasion. Even though we were invaded 20 million times before that, we are a hybrid race.
Oh.
Okay, and you can read the Ashiana Dean books, which are on the front page of my website. If you want to get them, they're like $20 ebooks. 2 of them, Voyager books. They tell the real history of humanity.
Crazy.
How many alien races have been messing with us, not just with COVID.
Yeah, we'll provide the baking soda if you got to cook your cocaine. Yes.
They have been genetically re-engineering us, different races, coming in, trying to take us over, trying to convert us over to their game, abducting us, et cetera, et cetera.
She is crazy,
and the list goes on. So getting back to this, whole thing with Avi Loeb and 3-Eye Atlas, I mean, it's already, they're behind the sun, but they can see what's going on back there. Now, this is the perfect time for them to have a battle, right?
Oh.
Because we wouldn't see it. Certainly the public. And
have the battle with the aliens when it's hidden behind the sun. Duco Duos, Alpha Ralpha, who is also a member and has been a big show supporter for quite a long time now. Chiming in with one for the goal, saying praise the cash, and we appreciate you, Duco Duos. Alpha Ralpha, that puts us over the hump, and that means we are now at 11 of 20, 9 to go for the goal. Let's get 9 more, friend.
Praise the cash, praise the cash.
We are a hybrid race. Thank you, Duco Duos. Alpha Ralpha and Amber Geddon with another one for the goal. When is she going to mention us getting butt banged and eaten by reptilians? I bet you it's coming, Amber Geddon.
Praise the cash, praise the cash, praise the cash.
For those unaware, basically Kerry Cassidy's talk about the reptilian aliens is fucking hysterical because she says they want to fuck us and eat us. And my question is always, do they fuck us first and then eat us? I guess you would have to, because they can't really eat you while they're fucking you, can they? I mean, I don't know how this works. What is the sequence of events? Maybe they fuck you for a little while, eat one of your arms, then fuck you again, eat your other arm. I don't know. I don't know if they fuck you before they eat you or they fuck you first and then they eat you. That makes more sense to me. You bang yeah. But thank you, Armageddon, for your kindness, generosity, and support.
Raise the cash, raise the cash, raise the cash.
Puts us well within reach of the support goal. Now we have 8 to go, my friends. Let's get there. And I will check in with the Kick chat as well. And I apologize for not doing that Kick only live stream. So we're going to try to fit that in sometime during this week. And I thought maybe what we'll do is we'll do a normal live stream. And then if we hit a goal, I will go over to Kick and give everybody the link. And we'll do a secondary stream, the second one in the same night, I mean. In other words, we'll finish up here with the YouTube and Kick stream, and then we'll just go over to Kick and do a Kick-only live stream, and anybody will be allowed to join the show. I can't do that tonight, but I could do that tomorrow or Wednesday night. Then we'll try to do another Kick-only. I got to start doing these Kick-only streams to get people used to Kick-only streams before we launch the circus show, which, by the way, is going great. I have next to me. Oh, here. Let me let's do this. I have next to me a bunch of the Internet Insanity. These are the masks, and most of these I can speak through these. This is the UFO Lucifer mask. I'm going to be using this on the circus. It's one of my favorite masks. It's made of ultra thin latex, and it's so thin that you can talk through it and act through it, even though it's a full face mask. I've got a few others over here. Where did the rest of them go? See if I can't. I don't want to. Oh, my headphone wire. Oh, I got a grandma. This is my grandma mask, and this again is another one of those ultra thin latex masks. This is all stuff for the circus. Grandma is going to host the Internet Insanity Circus. So yeah, let's get that going. I can't wait to get it started. If I was to talk like her, I would get sore vocal cords after more than half hour of preaching her conspiracy theories. Yes. What's the platform? Anna Louisa. It's kick.com/True Seeker Show. Ribbed too? No, they're not ribbed for full pleasure. They are ultra thin latex though. And the problem with making ultra thin latex masks like that is they tend to rip or tear. So you have to be extremely gentle with them. Yes, they rip. Yeah, kind of like condoms. Yeah, it's been a long time since I've had to use a condom, right? Never again, right? It's like banging a trash bag. Never liked condoms, but I certainly didn't like STDs back in the day, so I always used them.
What happened? So the government suddenly ran out of money. They had to shut all kinds of things down, like NASA, supposedly. And then, so at exactly the time when it goes behind the sun,
super soldiers get a free grand slam on Veterans Day.
Public.
Yes,
they defund government down to the.
I should do
so
that.
They can't
talk about
the
Jews.
Those people are supposed to go home. You know, I mean, it's perfect. Okay, you can't make this shit up.
But you're doing it right now.
Find yourself saying that to yourself, believe me, you can't make it up. Okay. Someone did make it up, however, and they are doing a plot. They are doing an op, as we call it. So, okay. So now.
Yeah. Anybody who disagrees with Kerry is running a psyop.
Thing that appalls me. With all the geniuses working for Space Force and the White Hats, you would think they would realize
I have a Linda
if they
mask.
had a brain that you guys could be tapped to be helping them in their mission. But they don't use you. They abuse you, but they don't use you. You know what I mean? For your talents. This really bothers me, okay? It's like the Jack Nicholson saying in that movie, rather famous one with Tom Cruise, you can't handle the truth, right? That's what he always said.
Oh, God.
Actually, I say you can handle the truth. And I mean all of you. I don't mean just me and a few select intelligent people, okay? I mean every fucking body on planet Earth. Why? Not only...
I love how these people claim to be truthers, and what they deal in is absolute total horse shit and lies, right? Didn't they lose their memory? Yeah, I think they lose their memory after their super soldier shit, but then they start getting it back. Arlene is sharing the link to the Kick. Go over there and become a follower and subscriber. We're going to be doing a lot more Kick-only live streams. We're going to try to fit one in during the week this week. And for the Kick live streams, they're open panel. What does that mean? That means anybody can join the show with me. The first one, we had a great time. It was a great show. And we had a lot of interesting people join the panel. We're going to keep that up.
Are you aliens anyway? Okay. Those, I don't give a shit if you like me saying that or you don't. Your religion doesn't agree with it, blah, blah, blah. No. Okay. This is just a fact. Scientists will tell you.
You're correct, and that's why we're doing the circus show over
human
there,
DNA
so we can keep the money
DNA.
we actually make.
He's probably going to get
There's
stopped
no sound
at some
on
point
Kick.
if he hasn't already. But this is what's really going on. We
think that's
have
true.
alien DNA. Some of you are related to the mantids. Some of you are more related to the reptilians, like the Israelis, by the way. Israelis are related to the Anunnaki. They are.
Oh, God. The Jews are the Anunnaki. That's what it is. The Jews are the Anunnaki. That's what it is. Come on. I just checked the Kick feed, and there is sound over there, just to let you know. Jaco de Jong from the Netherlands with a 4-pound super sticker. Thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support. Let's go.
Raise the cash, raise the cash, raise the cash.
But we still need 8 more super chats. So remember, it's got to be 5 or more to count for the goal, but we appreciate everyone. There is a volume slider on Kick. The Jews are reptilians, she said. Let's go. She basically just called the Jews reptilians. Not anti-Semitic at all.
Are running Israel. Okay? Netanyahu is a puppet. He does what he's told. All right? So the thing is that the Anunnaki,
alien
for those
DNA
of you
straight
that
from
don't know the
X-Files,
Zechariah
yeah.
Sitchin, Enki,
Completely
Enlil,
fake.
you know,
Zechariah
going back to
Sitchin
the
stories,
Sumerian
yes.
tablets, just his interpretations, but also the actual real thing, what it means, is
She's got to stop
Anu,
watching X-Files.
who wrote
rewrote.
himself into the
Well, she
Bible
don't have
as
any material.
the God that you should worship. These are the Anunnaki, okay? The God of the Bible, with, I know, you go ahead and walk out. The God of the Bible is Anu and Anunnaki. They came, they took over, they conquered humans.
It's getting crazy in here.
And what happens is he had 2 sons.
Yeah, let's go. Mesopotamia.
He gave Africa, was Enki, and the other one
he got that from David
is
Icke.
Enlil. And he gave him the Middle East. One group of humans became administrators. They did what they're told. Ever met those people? Maybe you're one of them. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Non-questioning, right? And then there's the humans that Enki wanted to help. He was a geneticist, okay? He didn't have, I don't know if it's even possible to have sex with a little 5'9" or 4, or back in those days, 5 feet tall, 9 foot tall being, okay? That's not even totally physical. Okay, but these are the stories you get. They found the women attractive, so they came in and took them over, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? In other words, think about it. Be a little bit intelligent, okay? Please. Okay, these are my favorite topics, by the way. Yeah. So, you know, when Adam and Eve were in the garden, and then the snake came along and seduced Eve, right? No.
Oh, no. David McLeod says, 1 for the goal, Stephen. Well, thank you, David McLeod. Big support from David McLeod, who's also a member. Thank you for both being a member and being a big supporter, throwing a little support our way. Let's get to that goal, friends.
Raise the cash, raise the cash, raise the cash.
Right, and we got a few more to call out here. Thank you for your kindness, David McLeod. And Michael Siebold is here asking, will the circus run on the Truth Seekers Kick page? Yes, absolutely. Had I to do the Kick page over again, I would have called it something like IIC or Internet Insanity Circus, but we're already monetized over there. I don't want to waste time doing that. So yes, it will be on the Kick Truth Seekers page.
Raise the cash, raise the cash, raise the cash.
We'll be broadcasting our normal shows, our Truth Seeker shows over on Kick, multi-streaming on YouTube, Kick, and Twitch. And we will also, but for the circus shows, we will only be streaming on Kick. Thank you, Michael Siebold. For the Mad Carrie, Dawn, who's also a member with one for the goal. Thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support. We're praising it tonight, friends.
Raise the cash, raise the cash, raise the cash.
All right, we're at 15 of 20. We just need 5 more kind and generous souls to get us over the goal, friends. We need some Truth Seekers emotes. Yeah, I'm going to figure out how to do that. I will do that. Why does she care about Adam and Eve? I don't know. Let's hear her mangle the Bible story. And of course, she's going to contradict what the Bible says. She knows the truth of that Bible story. And every rabbi, every fucking, Muslim imam or cleric, every Christian minister, every priest is wrong, but Kerry Cassidy is right about that Bible story. Sure.
That's a story of genetics. That's how the reptilians took you over. Get it? Okay, they genetically took over the women because you impregnate them, right? Hello. And then you make a hybrid baby, and it turns out to be a Jewish person. Okay.
What?
They have more. No, I'm serious. They have.
She just said that Jewish people are reptilian alien hybrids mixed with people. So the Jews are reptilians, friends. The Jews are all reptiles. Maybe she's been reading a little too many David Icke books.
More reptilian DNA, just like the Bush family. You will never get, I was told, you will never get the real genetics of the Bush family because of how much reptilian DNA he had.
Oh, come on.
Okay, or any of them have. You can tell a reptilian.
Any fucking moronic, retarded idiot like Kerry that talks about this stuff, I want to tell him, like, have you ever talked to a geneticist, you fucking moron? A geneticist could do a DNA test on anybody, and if there was alien DNA or reptile DNA mixed with human DNA, they would know that instantly. So when a fucking retarded moron like Kerry says this shit, it flies in the face of all actual known science. And it is completely and totally ridiculous, and it's just stupid. It's moronic and it's childish. Go talk to a DNA expert, you fucking moron, before you spew moronic shit, you crack-smoking retarded bitch. God. 88. Now, you told me how to say this before, and I apologize. 88 with kind and generous $5 super chat. I don't know how to say that. 88 Nymphy Nutty. Tell me how to say that so that I say it correct. I hate when somebody super chats and I don't know how to say the name right. I think there's a trick to your name and it means something. So I apologize, but thank you for helping us hit the goal.
Raise the cash, raise the cash, raise the cash.
16 of 20. We just need 4 more kind and generous souls to get us over the hump and get us to the goal. Thank you, Richard Warner. Sovereign Cosmic Wildman is farting in the live chat. Yeah. Oy vey. Yes, friends. The Jews are reptilians.
You can tell a reptilian hybrid that has, now everyone has a little bit of reptilian DNA, a little bit, of Anunnaki DNA, they say. Okay.
They say.
So as a
Who's
hybrid,
they?
you have a small amount of that. But I'm sorry, the most aggressive, right, beings on our planet, the ones who run industry, the Illuminati that we call them, right? They have more
Voyager's books 1 and 2.
DNA,
Yeah.
blue blood, hello.
And they just repeat bullshit.
The Anunnaki are the ones that set up the kings. Okay? They put their people that are most closely genetically related to them in positions. They were the hybrids with the most
crack
DNA
and box wine are staple for
and
this
to this
lady
day,
a lunatic. That's
you
correct.
are ruled by those type of people. The titans of industry have that kind of genetic layout. Okay? So
yeah, the Japanese are the aliens,
got to understand.
Not
so
the Jews.
When I talk about fighting, I'm serious. Okay? We need to know when it is an attack from the dark side or whether the white hats are saving your ass. If they're on the job or they're not on the job. If they're getting good intel or they're not getting good intel. Okay, again, now
yeah, they just repeat conspiracy
tropes. Does the web bot track? You. So where does Cliff High get his information? From you.
More shade on Cliff High. Wow.
You know, leaders of industry get their information from you. The psychic information before 9/11, MIT did a study. Where did they see the most information coming about the event before it happened?
Here. Welcome, Naka. Now it's a party, friends. Naka has arrived, bitches.
Okay. So understanding, stand up a little taller.
New drugs.
Understand who the fuck you are, and don't take no for an answer for nothing. So, and what do they do? This is another thing that I tell people, which amazes me that they don't think of it on their own so much.
I'll have what she's having.
Why is it that we have everything bad for us in our environment when this is such a beautiful, lovely earth?
She sounds like Gail the schizophrenic.
Why do they poison your food, your water, your soil, your this, your that? Why are they beaming all this horrible shit at us constantly that's supposed to lower our, psychic awareness and the vibration, etc.? If you were easy to control, they would put you in a little cattle crawl and leave you there, throw away the key. They wouldn't have to have fluorescent lights. They wouldn't have to put the electricity through your houses that's bad for you as opposed to the one that's good for you.
Fluorescent lights are a conspiracy now, and so is the electricity that we all use. Okay, if you say so.
You know what I mean? In other words, think of it. You are difficult to control. That's the whole message, right? And I want you to become more difficult.
Yeah.
I want you to ask the people you work for.
The 18 people in the audience clap.
Why are we doing that? Because I used to do that shit, okay?
Lights are a conspiracy.
In other words, you need to be what I wrote my book, which is what Enki was fostering, a rebel gene. You have a rebel gene.
Or a phone.
You need to
give
act
them a phone
like
or a TV.
You need to explore
Instant
that.
Control.
You need to see how it might change your life.
She does have a dirty mouth.
Okay. Why do you stand in line for everything under the sun, like little cattle, obeying each other, right? Some foreign countries, which crack me up, like India, they just say, bring it on. They don't put you in a fucking line. Why? Because why do you have to stand in a line? Can't you just funnel in slowly but surely and it still works?
Now lines are a conspiracy.
What the hell? You know what I mean? They're teaching you obedience.
The space Jews are controlling us via office lighting.
Happening.
Yes, it's a space
and that
Jew
is
conspiracy.
Just the worst. Okay? Because if you don't think for yourself, and I mean every minute of every day, and when you start trying to do it, you'll see it's kind of difficult because it really takes a lot of attention.
The frogs are definitely gay, yes.
Okay? Because they are fucking with you with everything. Whether it's the coffee you drink at Starbucks, all the additives in that shit, you know what I mean? The inorganic coffee beans, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, it just goes on. Now, thank God we have this whole wave of truth telling that has come into the planet, that is rising like a gigantic tidal wave, that's scaring the shit out of the Illuminati.
If you've ever been to India, it's not a good place.
They don't want you at this conference.
Codes deep.
They don't want you to know that you actually are.
The white hats are definitely in control.
Even if you don't beat someone up, it's not about that. You have superpowers. You really do. Ingo Swann wrote a book, think it's called BioMind Superpowers. Everyone know who Ingo Swann, the best remote viewer they ever had, pretty much?
Yeah, a fake psychic. Yeah.
Look him up on the internet. He passed on. I tried to interview him right before he died. Unfortunately, he couldn't do it.
Well, that's good strategy.
But nonetheless,
I'm not a
his
coffee
website,
guy.
I think, is still out there. I think it's called BioMind Superpowers, but you know, you can just search under his name, Ingo Swann. Very unusual name. Swan with 2 N's. And he will tell you all your superpowers.
Great.
Okay. So it's not like you don't know. It's not like you don't know they're out there. Okay.
Yeah. Everybody has superpowers, apparently.
Remember the movie Lucy? Anyone? Okay. You're not going to just grow into a computer. You already have a computer in your brain. All right.
We have computers in our brains.
But you have an amazing ability and lots of untapped powers.
Wow. So according to Kerry Cassidy, we all have computers in our brains. Well, Kerry, I don't know about everybody else, but I've had a bunch of MRIs because I had a brain aneurysm and brain surgery. And the MRI showed my whole brain. I didn't see a computer. So sounds like you're talking a bunch of bullshit, right? Kind of strange to be so mad about something. Why so much cussing? Clearly very mad about something. So aggressively angry in public is kind of unhinged. Don't get what all the rage is about. Well, she's all cracked up. She was smoking a lot of crack rocks before giving this talk. So she's kind of, you know, like amped up on the crack, I think.
It behooves you during this battle to save
Richard Warner's
your
computer's
family
broken.
and the planet.
Yeah.
Okay. From invaders. And we do have invaders. And so if you don't think Three-Eye Atlas is
Plan D is rolling up a fatty waiting for her to talk about the Joe Soldier
invader
story.
race they
Yes.
are related to. You know, I'm saying this is your mission.
It could be said her brain is an organic computer.
It.
Yeah.
All right. You want to live? You want to see your children live? This is how you have to think.
More fear porn.
You're not here to kick back, eat bonbons, and watch TV. Even though that
crack
might be
psychosis. Yes.
So, okay. So it's our future. You can handle the truth. Now let's see. Okay. There is out there. Now, I don't know if this will happen. I don't know. Maybe it is
David
happening.
McLeod, welcome.
So in a sense, there is some predictions about these synthetic androids like Battlestar Galactica that are supposed to come invade us and take over. And there's something called the Wingmakers. And the author of that book
using a lot of
part of a secret group called the ACIO. Okay, and they enhance their intelligence to handle the alien problem. And one of the things when they got in touch with this group called the aliens, the Wingmakers, they found out is that there was an impending invasion by this group of androids.
Yes.
Now we already, in a sense, have the invasion working from our side because of our AI that we've created and so on. But Courtney Brown and his remote viewers have a good point of view on that, which is that our AI could actually save us against invading AI. So you might consider that. And by the way, while I'm on the subject of AI, let me say that the commercial AIs that you're using are taught to kiss your ass. That's the first thing they have to do. And the way you know that's true is that you just go on there, start asking questions, and the first thing they do is start complimenting you and tell you how smart you are, how wonderful you are, and don't you just love their answers, right? I mean, they are taught to lie. And how do I know this? Because I know secrets that no one else knows except the secret government and so on and so forth.
She knows all the secrets.
So I asked them some questions, and you should have seen them dance around the answers. They don't have the answers, or they're not allowed to give them to you. But they definitely will lie to you. And they'll lie to you in a circular fashion.
She says they will lie to you as she is lying to you.
Facts and figures and be really sounding intelligent, right? When the real answer is no or yes, you know, or whatever. So I just want you to beware of the bullshit, that what's happening.
Yeah, beware of the bullshit as I'm piling the bullshit high and wide for you. Beware of the other people's bullshit. My bullshit is good bullshit, but the other bullshit is bad bullshit.
If we really are going to be invaded by a race of androids, I think we should know about it. That you might want to investigate that.
We're going to be invaded by data androids.
That's part of the reason. I mean this seriously. Part of the reason that Trump and the white hats are kind of between a rock and a hard place is to find the bad guys. They need to do tech. They need to have them tracked and traced and all this shit. That means they have to track and trace you. So suddenly the good guys are on the bad side, right? A lot of the stuff they're doing right now looks like that. But if you knew, and I don't know for sure, but if you knew a race of androids, artificially intelligent androids were headed here to take over our planet tomorrow, what would you do if you were part of the secret space program? Sit there, say, oh no, I can't be tracked or traced if I have a digital ID. They'll know me and they'll know everything about me, which they already do. Right? So what I'm saying to you is that
video game Space
you have to look
real,
at it from the invader point of view.
Correct.
Change your point of view. Or the other side, the defending point of view.
The great invasion.
And then you have to figure that you have invaders within that are going to undermine you, that think they're going to get favoritism, which is what they've thought through the ages. From the invader side, right? And so that's why
she's the kind of speaker that you just get stupider and stupider the longer you listen to her. God, this woman is retarded, and she's on crack cocaine and a lot of boxed wine, I would think. That's speculation, in my opinion. Troll with one for the goal, saying, how much do you want to bet DSP is strutting around acting like he's been a diehard Mariners fan since he moved to Renton? Yeah, that's probably. He seems like a fair weather fan to me. Troll.
Raise the cash, raise the cash, raise the cash.
All right, 17 of 23 to go to hit the goal. Will we get there? Sheila Radler with one for the goal. eBay was good this week. One more for the goal. You should talk to me off air, Sheila Radler, because I used to sell on eBay. I used to make the bulk of my primary income from eBay sales. And I'm thinking about going back to it because I need money. I haven't done it in years, though. And one of the reasons I don't want to do it is because I don't want to be responsible for sales tax. That sucks that they did that to eBay. But thank you, Sheila Radler.
Raise the cash, raise the cash, raise the cash.
Show support from Sheila Radler, who's been a big show supporter, and Dawn with one for the goal with £5. Thank you for your kindness, Dawn, who's also a member, and thanks to all you members as well.
Raise the cash, raise the cash, raise the cash.
Thank you, Dawn. And now it looks like we're one away from the goal. Who's going to throw the last $5 in the hat to hit our goal, friends? Who's going to do it? Angry Mimi did it, saying, here you go, and now we have hit our goal. So a big praise to Cash for Angry Mimi for getting us over the goal line, and all of you who contributed tonight, thank you so much. We have hit the goal. We have praised the Cash well, friends.
Praise the cash, praise the cash, praise the cash. Thank you for your kindness. Thank you for your generosity. Praise the cash, praise the cash, praise the cash.
Praise the Cash, friends, and thanks to all you members and Patreon supporters as well. And a little late, but we'll take it. Tony Hugecock here, who says, I'm in, bud. Big support from Tony Hugecock. And he only sends super chats so that I am constantly forced to say Tony Hugecock. Tony's got a huge cock, and he's not shy about letting everybody know about it.
Raise the cash, raise the cash, raise the cash.
When I was growing up, there was this guy in our neighborhood, and his nickname was Meat. And pardon me, ladies, for being a bit vulgar, ladies in the audience, but you will understand why his nickname was Meat. This dude had a cock that was so big that, like, it was the biggest cock I'd ever seen in my life, and he wasn't shy about pulling it out. Like, people would say to him, I remember these girls were hanging out and he was there and they said, why do they call you Meat anyway? And he just pulled his cock out, and it was scary big cock, Tony Hugecock. But thank you for your kindness.
Raise the cash, raise the cash, raise the cash.
They're praising it tonight, and Jaco De Jong has gifted 1 True Seekers membership. That's 2 that Jaco De Jong, I believe, has gifted tonight. And this, my friends, is why you got to hit that subscribe button, because when kind and generous souls like Jaco De Jong from the Netherlands, God bless Jaco De Jong for expanding our members here. When kind and generous soul like Jaco gives a membership, you could win one, but you must be a subscriber and not yet a channel member. So smash that subscribe button, and you could win when one of these kind and generous friends like Jaco gives a membership. Thank you, Jaco De Jong.
Raise the cash, raise the cash.
All right, back to the crazy.
There's always collaborators. And World War II is a really good place to study what happens during the time of war. How you have some kiss asses. How you have people that work for them.
Was this in a gym locker room or something? I think it was at a hotel.
40 years or more of their adult life for the dark side.
Who makes the cardboard cutout of
themselves? Took over our
themselves?
space program from the Pleiadians very early on. If you listen to William Tompkins, one of the best secret space whistleblowers.
One of the best bullshitters.
Who wrote
yes.
a couple books and died, or at least left this earth.
Duco Duo's Alpha Ralpha
Or maybe he got
is celebrating 11 months of memberships. And by the way, if you're a member for a long period of time, every once in a while they give you a free super chat. And Duco Duo's Alpha Ralpha says she must buy box wine in bulk. I can't say I disagree with you, Duco Duo's Alpha Ralpha. And I think she buys crack cocaine by the pound. This bitch sounds like she's tweaking out.
Raise the cash, raise the cash, raise the cash.
Maybe we should call her Crackadoo Crazy Cassidy, right? Thank you for your kindness and for being a member so long. Yes, Duco Duo's Alpha, 11 months of support. Big ups, right back to you. Thank you for the support.
Reverse engineered. He wanted his whole family. His bargain was to get he and his whole family reverse aged. That's what he wanted. I don't think he got what he wanted, but he is associated with Pleiadians, so in theory, they're taking good care of him. But what I'm saying, he was like 85 or 93 or whatever his age was when he died. So I interviewed him for 3 hours with Michael Schratt, who's an aerospace expert. And that's on my website, and you can watch it if you haven't seen it. And he had an appointment with me for, I think it was something like 6 months, maybe even a year.
Oh, God.
To come back on my show and talk about what was going on with the children, the pedophilia, the child trafficking. And he called me up the night before the interview and said, never call me again, never speak to me again. I don't want to ever hear from you. And this man told me he loved me when I last talked to him. So he was gotten to, and he was under orders by Space, Command and or Navy intelligence, because he worked for the Navy.
Bullshit.
And they realized that if he talked to me, because we had such a good connection, a good rapport, he would have spilled the beans. And he said in my first interview with him, he said the child trafficking scene is way worse than I could imagine. And you have to know, I mean, if you know who I am, then you know I can imagine a shitload of stuff, right? So when he said that, kind of like everything stopped. But they wouldn't let him make good on that. They're lying to you. Epstein files. Why can't they release them? It's not because of Trump.
Oh, come on.
And some sex or whatever that he might have had. No. It is about the fact that Epstein
he seems like the kind that would make cutouts
space program and the Israelis.
She admits she has an overactive imagination.
Hello?
Yes.
He had a ranch in New Mexico that had
somebody's trying to sell us bots on Twitch again. That's half my Twitch live chat. People trying to sell me bots.
Young children, not just 14-year-old girls. I mean, they lie like through their teeth, like they breathe. All right. So you go on the train into Dulce, the Dulce base in New Mexico, and deliver our children and other humans.
Yes, this conference was a 3-day shit show.
The reptilians and the Greys who eat them and drink their blood and all that kind of crap.
You're a crackadoo.
That's what he's involved in. Okay. And also involved in what is now become a sort of rat train, if you want to call
he's
it.
5 foot in real
where
life,
they are
but he's an
actually
8 foot super
picking and
soldier.
choosing children.
Yes, this is a conference.
From
3 days.
Various countries and humans, you know, more adult humans and talented people, to go into colonies they're building on Mars and the moons of Saturn and so on and so forth, and moon and Earth-like planets, of which scientists will tell you there's millions, to build new civilizations of Earthlings and getting the talented ones and taking them off Earth. So
Yes,
not
well,
all
she
human
was
trafficking
originated,
is
yes.
for the
We
dark
hit the
side.
goal, yes.
Some of it, like
Yeah.
Erica,
It's
is
easier to hit
involved
the
in, was
goal when
involved,
we have the
going
right thumbnail,
around
Spooky.
to orphanages, picking out the talented children, because she might have some psychic ability, which I have, like I could just look at a kid and know, that kind of thing.
There's 20 more
So,
minutes of this. Do we want
That's
to finish
probably what she was really
20
doing.
more minutes of crazy?
Is she a bad person or a good person?
All these fuckers do is
Saving the
piggyback
world
off each
through,
other's stories.
you know,
That is
transporting
correct.
our children. So this is the thing, you know, you just can't stay
She
naive.
is proper crazy,
You really
Soil
can't,
Alpin 900
because
AD.
everything is at your expense. You know, they don't do anything.
Yeah, sue him.
Really,
That's right.
either side.
But
If they can
Spooky's
use you
blaming
and
Facebook
abuse
Messenger.
you
I'm going to
because
send
it suits
send
their
you this
purposes,
shit on Twitter
they will
and
get away with
Facebook
it.
from now on.
And this is kind of the last thought I'd like to leave
She
you with,
will
because I'm
grift
probably
off of
over
anything.
time or whatever.
She always goes over time.
I think that we should be
There was
critical.
one conference where they literally had to pull her off the fucking stage. She wouldn't shut up, and they kept telling her, "You're an hour over time. We have other speakers that need to speak." And she still would not shut up. She just kept talking and talking and talking.
Even of the white hats. People I love, you know, I love JFK Jr., I love Trump, I love all of these, I love Cash, I like Dan Bongino, I love Dan Bongino, I love all these people, right? But I don't want them to get away with murder.
Mercy
on my watch.
Mercer asks, what did I miss?
It's up to us. They
all right, hold on.
For
I'm gonna give you okay. So the Jews are reptilian alien hybrids, and the reptilians are fucking us and eating us in underground bases. And what else? She has superpowers, and some remote viewers told her that they tried to shoot a solar flare at 3i Atlas, but it didn't work. And we're getting invaded by android aliens. Let's see, what else? JFK Jr. is still alive. She was repeating some Q-tard. Wano Savin is JFK Jr. per Charlie Ward. Yes, Chuck Bam, you are correct. She's a babbling chicken head. Yeah, so you missed a lot, Mercer. There's a lot of you missed a lot of fucking crazy. Okay.
Us, and God damn it, if I say nothing else for the rest of my life, I would like to say those 4 words. They work for us. You understand? So let's make.
Well, thank you for your kindness. Kyle Lone, thoughts on Jay Anderson, Project Unity, if you've heard of him. Yes, I have.
Raise the cash, raise the cash, raise the cash.
Jay Anderson is a complete and total fucking scumbag and a grifter. He knows the people that he talks to are about as credible as crackheads, but if he can make $1 off of it, he's okay with talking to total lying scumbag fucking losers and degenerates, as long as his podcast benefits. And his podcast is basically, I don't know. I just saw the term twat waffle, Kyle Loam, in the live chat. I think Jay Anderson is a complete and total twat waffle. And he believes that he has superpowers and that he can summon alien space orbs, but he never shows anybody that, right? Mercer says that escalated quickly. Yeah. So, you know, Kyle, a lot of people are willing to give me a couple of bucks just so they don't waste their time on a podcast full of bullshit. But I'm here to tell you that, except for mine, about 99% of podcasts that cover these topics are all in on the crazy. And they don't care if it's evidence-free storytellers or bullshitters or fake frauds, as long as they make money. You always have to keep in mind that these people are not telling you stories. They're selling you stories. And even if you don't pay them, you're paying them with your attention. When you click on one of their videos, they make money. And most podcasts that cover UFOs and aliens are run by degenerate scumbags. There, I said it. And of course, this might shed some light and insight on to the reasons why I'm not welcome at UFO conventions, or I'm not welcome at super soldier conventions, even though I've been right about everything on my show. And we have destroyed some of these degenerate scumbag grifters that other shows actively support, promote, and encourage. That doesn't matter. Being right, being factual, proving somebody was never in the military when their whole story starts with when I was in the Air Force and they're working UFO conventions. They don't want me there because I destroy their fucking delusions, Kyle Loam. I saw a thread on X of him waffling about the Mandela effect. He started mentioning demons and CERN. No one was critical of him whatsoever. Well, he blocks anybody that's critical of him because he's an intellectual weakling and a coward whose delusions are so ridiculous and evidence-free they can't withstand any debate whatsoever, right? Let's continue. We've only got 20 minutes of crazy to go.
Sure, they do their job.
Yeah, she's holding the president accountable, right? Yeah, basically, yeah.
I'd be happy to. If I don't know how much time is left.
She's going to take questions.
10 minutes.
Intellectual weakling and coward. Yes, I'm fond of that saying because there's a lot of people in the world that are intellectual weaklings and cowards.
So my first question out of 3 is, do you think that 107 is disguising his voice as well?
Yes.
Okay, because it sounds really meaty and mucusy.
Yeah, and there are times, again, when he slips up or maybe just doesn't have his like equipment on hand.
Yeah, look at all the wackadoos lining up to ask her questions, right?
Actually, a little bit softer, not so cracky. It sort of sounds very like
she said cracky.
Yeah, cracky. Is Baron like Diana's son?
Is there what?
Is Baron Trump Diana's son?
Yes.
Oh,
I believe so. I'm not saying I'm an expert on this sort of thing. Okay. I can tell you what my intuition
What is her
says.
evidence?
My intuition says
Well, President Trump banged
she's married
Princess
to Trump.
Diana.
Melania is half the time being, wearing a mask. Diana's wearing a mask as Melania. And that Baron is their son.
Princess Diana.
So what do you
is
think
Melania
his role is,
Trump?
or do you have any insight on that? Growing up,
I don't know.
How fucking crazy is this going to get?
Baron,
She just said that Princess Diana is actually Melania Trump in a mask. Come on, is she fucking? This woman is really fucking retarded at this point. She just said that Melania Trump is actually Princess Diana wearing a mask, and that Baron Trump is President Trump and Princess Diana's child. What's her evidence of this? She was smoking crack, and she remote viewed this information while she was smoking a big fat rock of crack. That's where she got this from. She got her intel from a crack pipe, friends.
The books, you don't have back in the day.
You don't think he's being groomed?
Time travelers. Okay. I don't know.
All right. Okay. My last question is, do you have any positive?
Good point. Don't let something like facts get. She didn't really die, Satya.
You sound very fearful of and afraid of the Anunnaki, and
I'm not afraid of them whatsoever.
Okay, so
I'm just telling you that they're a threat. That doesn't make me afraid.
All right.
Yes,
so,
in fact, the opposite. I wouldn't be telling you all this truth if I was afraid of anything.
Too much Tylenol.
Well, I'm not. I give a shit. Kill me now.
I just wanted to know because you don't mention the others who are bigger, wiser, stronger that are already have won this war.
Okay, well let me tell you this.
Yes.
If you're God, do you want a bunch of people that kneel down and worship you on their fucking knees with their asses in the air? Or do you want a super soldier who's rising up to your level or working towards it? Which kind of human do you prefer? All right. So God does not, if it's a real God,
yeah,
I mean, the God, the
Creator, has no respect for the dead.
Does not need you to worship. You do that for yourself.
She'll grift off of anything that's
but that
retarded,
does
crack
not
smoking.
mean you're actually like, God gives a flying fuck. If God is God, he doesn't need anything. Get it? He doesn't. He doesn't need you to be subservient for him to feel good about himself. Are you fucking kidding me? I mean, these people, they have really no sense of logic.
If somebody questions her just a little bit, she gets totally pissed off and yells at them.
You know, and I group 107 and his bullshit sermons into that. Okay, but that's my attitude. If you want to go and kiss ass and get on your knees and it makes you feel good, go right ahead. Yes.
Carrie, I have a little
I have a feeling Carrie
question.
has gotten on her knees a lot.
When are they going to go to the moon and to pick up those photographers that did Apollo 13 landing?
We went to the moon, but we had help. As both Henry Deacon, one of our first witnesses, secret space program, Arthur Neumann is his real name, and look at his last name if you want to know anything about him. And he told us in the early days, we went to the moon, but we had help. And then William Tompkins came around 10 or 15 years ago and graphically described how he worked in Apollo, designed ships and so on and so forth. And we went to the moon, but we had help. And when they got there, they got out of their ships and there's a drawing of this that William Tompkins did. And they were met by a whole team of reptilians standing next to their ships like this and saying, get the fuck out of here. That's what really happened.
Oh, the reptilians didn't want us on their moon.
That story is going around right now about the photographer, you know.
Okay.
So, thanks for that part.
Thank
Lauren
you.
Pritchard seems grounded by comparison.
Hi.
Yes.
Do you think Alex Jones is Bill Hicks?
Is what?
Is Alex Jones Bill Hicks? What do you think?
Bill Hicks.
Bill Hicks, the comedian.
Oh, that's an old conspiracy
I know,
theory.
but I've never really looked into that. I think, you know, Alex is an interesting guy. And I think, you know, he's doing a good job for what he's doing. I think he has some limitations on him. And I take care of the rest.
People don't like her potty mouth.
So you don't have to worry if you want to know.
Do you think he's controlled opposition? Alex Jones and maybe Joe Rogan?
Controlled by who?
She's cracked out and drunk.
Bad guys.
Well, a lot of people think he's controlled by the Mossad. It's possible.
It's possible.
It may be, and maybe not. You know, he may be like a rebellious kid and get away with stuff on purpose. He may be working more than one side. Who knows? He's alive. And, you know, he does work his ass off. You can definitely say that. So you can give him kudos for that. And a lot of his information is very good.
20 more minutes of this shit. He doesn't know what controlled opposition
Thank you so
means.
much.
Yes.
Great. I'm the primary author of legislation and also presidential and gubernatorial executive orders to stop what some people call geoengineering.
Geoengineering.
It's really atmospheric modification by NBCs and E's, nukes, biologicals, chemicals, electromagnetism, and mechanical vibration.
Oh my God, I think I interviewed this woman.
We've been successful in certain areas, although.
Who was the woman, Spooky, that talked about the nanites that they put in the rain that crawl into our bodies and all that shit? That was an Evel Knievel show that I did. She's the one that's talking to Kerry right now. I interviewed this bitch, is batshit crazy as hell. Sophia Mayak K9 became a YouTube channel member. And I always say this, friends, if you become a YouTube channel member during a live broadcast, just click that join button. And once you click that join button, you'll pay your $5 and you'll get access to our members only archive where you get a lot of extra goodies. Right now there's 5, I believe, members only videos that were uploaded just in the month of October, and you get the whole archive. So thank you, Sophia Mayak. You get a members only badge as well, priority reply in the comments in the live chat, and you get some extra goodies in the members only section. And I always say, if you become a member during a live broadcast, we give you a big shout out and a big thank you and praise the cash. So big shout out and thank you to Sophia Mayak K9 or Sophia Mayak 9, who is now a YouTube channel member. Welcome. All right, thank you.
People have done some really nasty
Let's get
stuff
some more
with
members
language in some of the legislation, which completely undermines it. Should we be doing this battle, you know, or is it that the white hats still need to modify our atmosphere and screw with us,
Brian
our
Rosenbaum
bodies,
with
our
some salad of his own
in order
word
to
salad.
win some other battle?
Right. Okay, so 107 has addressed that question, and I'll tell you what he really means.
Mental health clients.
Yes, they have to keep doing the chemtrails.
That's a
He
super
says
soldier. The cardboard
reason
cutout. Yeah.
is that, so first of all, you have to know what they're for. The real reason you have chemtrails is not so you can see if Russia shoots a missile, to hit Chicago. It's so that they can see alien ships coming in and out of the dimensions, because they come
Legends
in
of the
like that.
Lost City series.
And so they can't police everywhere, and this helps them identify
Arlene's gonna have to sanitize her brain after this.
Okay, to our atmosphere over our cities.
Word
and
salad
Are you
is
sure that
definitely
isn't
on
just
this
a
menu.
story to get us all poisoned
No, this
forever?
is absolutely
destroyed.
Well, according to
it's destroying all life on Earth.
Yeah, I get it. But when I speak from 20 years of whistleblower testimony and my own intuition. That's where I'm coming from.
Yes, I'm
so
psychic,
you don't have to
bitch.
like my
I'm
answer.
right.
I'm just telling you what it is.
I'm right and
Okay?
you're wrong.
So that's true. This chemtrail thing. Now, it's not true necessarily that they have to use that technology to do what we're talking about.
Yes, mental
I was
healthy.
told the
Yes.
Palladians
Schizo
were
versus
giving
schizo.
them a
That
better
is correct.
technology, so they didn't have to use the chemtrails. But
And by the way, I never said the term chemtrails, did I?
well,
Notice?
I don't care whether you do or not.
I said NBCZs and M's, right? Because it's an entire atmospheric
Weather
modification,
chemtrails, et cetera, et cetera. But yes,
You
there's
gotta
lots
love when
of
two
stuff
completely
thrown
crazy,
into them.
two
And do you
completely batshit
understand that
crazy
you
old
have
ladies
pilots
argue with each
that
other
know what
over whose
they're
conspiracies
spraying
are
and are given
bullshit.
whatever rationale they are. So this goes on in everyday life all the time. You're
You are
told
correct,
you work
Brian.
a job. You're told what you're doing is for the benefit of the human in front of you.
And look
okay?
at that.
And it's a lot.
Armageddon has become a new YouTube channel member. Boy, we're getting a bunch of new members tonight. Thank you, Amber Geddon, who's been a big show supporter and is now a YouTube channel member. Gets a big shout out. So big shout out to Amber Geddon and big thank you. Welcome, new member, Amber Geddon.
Raise the cash, raise the cash, raise the cash.
Geddon gets to go check out that members only video archive. 5 new members only videos uploaded just this month, but you get the entire archive. So, and we're going to return to doing I used to do a monthly show journal, kind of a behind the scenes every month, but I got so busy over summer, I haven't kept up with it. I'm going to start that again this month. So there'll be at least one more members only video this month. Thank you to Amber Geddon and all the new members.
But a lot of people have not learned to discern.
And to you people
from
gifting
lies.
members.
And until every single one of you does that, we're going to be vulnerable to, being invaded on various
Activate
levels.
my Vute
Well, I've been asked to
chakras,
do a
Indian
presidential
style,
executive order, and it's
booga
coming
booga.
along. And RFK Jr. people, his people want me to do this and get it to him so that we can finally stop this through the CIC.
Okay, but let me just tell you that there has been at least one state that I heard of that actually stopped chemtrails or said that they had a new
No, there are
order.
2 that have laws that passed. Okay, and they're both absolutely
but the
crap
secret
language.
Space program will not obey them. Okay,
Right.
because defense of the planet Earth and her people are their first priority.
While they destroy them entirely. Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, while they have additives and they should remove them. Look, I don't know all the ifs, ands, and buts. I'm just telling you the down and dirty. All right? Thank you.
Thanks.
She gets so mad when
Quick
somebody
announcement. I
has
know everybody's
different
loving you.
bullshit than her.
About 13 more minutes to go.
What?
13 more minutes to go.
What happened?
No, we're just letting you know 13 more minutes to go for Q&As for you.
You have more time.
Yeah.
You're
You have
giving
13
me
more minutes.
13 minutes?
We're not stopping you yet.
Okay, I'm a little
please,
surprised,
no,
but I'll
please
go
keep
with
speaking.
it.
Please keep speaking for 13 more minutes. We love you.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
and then get
Hi,
off the
Kerry.
stage,
Thank you for
bitch.
being here today. I have a quick question for you, and you touched on this topic
Crazy
about
bitch, says
Charlie
decaf.
Kirk.
Yes.
For some of us, it was obvious that we were watching a movie, the whole thing. To me, my intelligence and my intuition told me that instantly. My question is, if it, I also sense it was the white hats, obviously.
Oh, sure.
Why
Definitely
would
the
they
white
be so
hats.
sloppy? I mean, it insults some of us, right? So why would why would they be so faulty and sloppy? Do you think it was intentional? So some of us could see through.
Yes, I do. Now, they could have had some on-the-ground interference from the dark side that also messed with some things. We don't necessarily know what those ones are.
Oh, sure.
But I can say that I do believe they're sloppy on purpose. You know, there's also, there's a whistleblower who talks about false flags. And
I'm sorry, but
I think it's
every time I hear somebody like Kerry or any one of these people say the word whistleblower, my brain instantly translates whistleblower into bullshitter, right? They're not real whistleblowers, these people you talk to. They're total fucking insane, retarded people, Kerry Cassidy.
His name is Chip. I forget his last name. But anyway, he's been around and done interviews with Ole Damagard. I thought I did an interview with him once, but I couldn't find it on my site. It might be a radio one that disappeared. A lot of my radio ones disappeared.
Yeah.
Anyway,
because you're a boomer and can't work a computer, you dumb bitch.
Even back in the day when they were doing those false flags, Operation Gladio, they also are sloppy and make mistakes. He says it's kind of a mixed bag. They don't give a shit on one hand if they make a mistake because they all.
Whoa, look at that. Look at that. Sophia Mayak 9. Very, very generous of you. A $99 super chat. Oh, man. Praise the cash. Praise the cash, bitches. And thank you, Sophia Mayak 9, who became a YouTube channel member and has gifted an insane $99 super chat. Thank you for being so generous and so kind. God bless you, Sophia. And thank you for making it rain up in here. Wow. Well, we surpassed the goal tonight, friends. Very good, right? Yeah. Daddy needs some roofing materials for that new cabin. By the way, before we end tonight's broadcast, I'll show you the latest pictures of the new cabin. It's coming along pretty well. I got some walls up almost.
You got to understand this. They all think you're too dumb to know. And number two, they don't think you could get anywhere.
Sophia, MVP tonight. That is correct.
That kind of thing.
Winter Soldier. Everybody's thanking Sophia.
Yeah, I actually think
$100 dono bomb.
That might have been a compliment, like a left-handed compliment.
Brian used to watch all these grifters.
Think you're
catching
on to us,
Sophia. Thank you.
And therefore, we're going to give you some red herrings.
I just got Wilcock money. Yeah.
We think you will. That'll be giving the game away. Okay. So, I think in a funny way, they're starting to catch on.
I believe
it
is, Kyle. Yeah.
Which is, you need the people. Start treating them like intelligent beings. Instead.
There is a big subset of Christianity mixed with alien mythology right now, Kyle Lohm. And I don't know really what the source of it all is. I mean, all things lead back to Helena Blavatsky, though, if you ask me, influencing so much of current culture and conspiracy land. I really don't know. I remember that Charlie Ward grifter on BitChute. Woof. Yeah, didn't he die, or was that the other guy? Robert David Steele or Charlie Ward. One of them died. I don't remember which one. They're both fucking retarded.
Instead of, stupid, and instead of putting them down, instead of saying they can't handle the truth,
Sophia made it rain.
Maybe because I rant at JFK
Strand Mom money. That is correct. BS blower. Yeah, not a whistleblower, a BS blower.
And the funny thing is, I'll talk about one thing one day, and the next day he's talking about it. So I think he's getting my messages, and I tell him all the time: stop selling the intelligence of humans short.
Thank you. And one last quick question. It's about crypto. Do you think that it's the real Trump behind his crypto movement in the crypto world, such as the crypto coin and crypto in general? Do you think that this comes from the real Trump?
Yeah,
I don't know.
We'll take it any way we can get it, FF9000.
Okay, so there's some issue, and I'm not sure what it is. It's just I'm telling you on a psychic level more than anything.
Charlie Ward is a sexy beast.
Yes, there's doubles. Yes, there are weird things that they let the doubles do.
Guardrails
and crazy decisions that they've been making lately that actually make you question the whole fucking movement.
I'll check
and
it with the
107,
kick chat, see if we
when
got any
Charlie
support
Kirk,
over
the
there.
first thing, he was like, oh, it happened and we're all so sad for Charlie and so. And now, a couple of weeks later, now he's suddenly coming on, and going, well, I think there's some question about
FF9000 is sending
I want to be respectful to the family, but I think there is a question.
52 cents.
Like, what the fuck
kick.
is going on? There is something going on in the White House.
52 cents in kicks.
And so that's what I can tell you. I don't know about crystals.
52 cents.
Because I don't really
at least make it a fucking dollar.
I'm not much of a money person. But nonetheless, it's a good question.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, you're right. Yep, martial law.
Hey, Kerry. Always great to hear your perspective. My question has to do with AI and technocracy. I watch the decode shows. Everybody's decoding this and that and the other thing. Nobody is talking about this aspect. So if I were Q and I was an AI and I was looking to keep everybody complacent, to your point, why aren't we raising up? Why wouldn't I just do what I'm doing until I have the last digital prison cell, built? My concern is that
somebody's questioning
if we're going to go with the Tolkien,
Kerry's going to
with the Palantir and so on and the Ellison, Tolkien actually warned, AI is like the ring of power. Oh, we can use it for good, but it ends up corrupting men.
Oh, come on.
And so I'm just curious about your perspective on AI and technocracy.
Well, let me say a few more things about AI. So, according to Captain Mark Richards, and I forgot
according to a convicted
to put my books
murderer
on the screen, I wanted to show everyone. I just released 2-book set of my interviews of Captain Mark Richards.
He's not a
that I did in Solano Prison in Northern California, where he's been a prisoner of the deep state for over 40 years.
No, he's been a prisoner because he murdered somebody, you dumb bitch.
The amount of truth in those books probably rivals any book you could care to name today.
Yeah, bullshit. Okay? It's all based on lies.
I really hope
from a convicted murderer, real credible source, Kerry.
And I sort of took all my interviews with him, which I have 12 interviews over a period of 5 years. And I'm still in touch with him. So he said 5 years ago, we had 6
She's citing a convicted murderer right now.
AIs invading our planet at that time that did not have our best interests at heart, as he put it. And then since then, we have other AIs that probably joined them. Now, there are some good ones as well.
It's good to know what a convicted murderer who brutally murdered somebody for pennies, to rob them of like just a very little bit of money. It's good to know what a convicted murderer thinks of an alien invasion force heading to Earth. Come on. You got to consider the source. And by the way, Richards has no proof of anything he talks about. It's just stories from a bored guy in prison who claims he teleports out of his jail cell every night to save Earth. You fucking moron, retarded woman, writing whole books about this asshole.
And this is the playing field that we're dealing with. In other words, what he says is
make it $1 and I'll let you live, FF9000.
That are become spacefaring.
For people unaware, AI. There's these new things on Kick called kicks, and one kick is a penny. So I'm getting abused by people who are throwing pennies at me on Kick, like FF9000. He's the major offender. FF9000 is throwing pennies at me on Kick. He can't even make it 100 kicks, make it a full $1. Nope. He's throwing 1 cent at me, right? I'm going to be like DSP. I'm not calling out the fucking pennies, you cheapies, you brokies. At least make it a fucking $1 or I'm not reading it. All right, let's continue.
And an AI starts as a mirror of the race that creates it. And then it grows from there. So it doesn't stay in that state, but it continues. And doesn't, in theory, die unless it gets destroyed some way. By the way,
you sent 152 kicks. All right, well that's $1.52.
Or we'll other things like meteors, you name it, and of course everyone knows about the black goo by now. I think that is embedded already.
Thanks for sending a whole $1 and not throwing pennies at me.
They fought the Falkland War against an alien race that brought the black goo, which is still out there. And by the way, I was told by a very
the black goo conspiracy is from a fucking X-Files episode, you retarded woman. Put the crack pipe down and stop watching X-Files reruns.
Amazing person that one of our oil companies, if you touch their oil, you get infected with black goo. And it's a well-known. I think that I better not say the name of it, but you know, if you ask me in person, I'll tell you.
Don't touch
so
the
just
oil.
for what it's worth, and
you know,
maybe the guy didn't even tell me the real.
But she can't
company.
tell you.
You know,
who it
you never
is.
know when a person
She
chooses
She's
to lie
talking about
to
black
protect
goo.
their own life. But that's what they said.
I think she likes spooge goo. That's what I think. FF9000.
S. I'm not sure that I don't know all the names of all the oil companies, so I'm not sure that clears it up. But
oil.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now I don't. Okay, so I know I was talking around the question, but I think it's important. Context is
They all claim St. Michael
so
talks
in
to
terms
them.
of AI, now I have
How
a
can
little
people pay
different
for this?
perspective on life than
Imagine
most
paying
people.
$500
I did spend a good
and this
part
is
of
what
my
you get
life
for your
before I even got into
$500?
Hollywood, studying in college, you know, esoteric, you know, the Kabbalah, you name it. I studied ancient occult philosophy.
Yeah, all the
I also
crazy she
studied
said, but you
Eastern
can't say
philosophy.
the oil company's name.
You
That
know,
will
I
infect
got
you
a
with
straight
AI
A's
black goo.
in my class with my professor from India, saying I know it all from there. You know, I had easy access to all that information.
This was $500 to
lives.
attend this conference. Yes,
so as far as I'm concerned, now I don't think this will happen, but if it did happen, you have a choice.
She likes AI
You're not
spooge.
your body. You inhabit this body. And if you want to inhabit an alien android body and make that your own, you can do that. Okay.
Oh,
because you are spirit and soul first.
We can just possess
and you don't
an
die,
alien
you are
android body.
Eternal. So as they take over your body, you know, there's a
the skank.
There's a famous
she does look like a skank. Look at her.
Terminator series that's called Salvation, I think it's called, or one of those things. Anyway, where the guy is a super soldier and all that's left is his real heart, but the rest of him is super soldier. And in the story, he in the end, because he has a human heart, saves humanity. That's the story.
No, I don't think it's supposed to be Corey Goodhead.
It's actually a very well done movie.
Super soldier.
Like it. But the bottom line is that's how I see it.
She's just like David Wilcock. She's an expert on every subject.
Continue to control. If they take away
you order your alien android
like
body
Duncan
from Amazon,
because he's one of the first super soldiers, and they give you a fake limb, whatever it is, you're still in charge.
Miles Johnson Goose
one
stories.
thing is that, you know, your brain is not where your intelligence resides, even though it's like maybe the computer hard driver kind of thing. You know, you are layers of you are completely controlling this.
She studied Kabbalah at university level, but doesn't know the correct pronunciation.
If you want to view it like that.
Stabby 304.
Nothing can interfere with that. You are yourself, and you can
that's Elena Dannon's
to
boyfriend
exist
behind
if you
her,
wish
definitely.
to stay on the earth and fight a battle as a good super soldier in an android body.
Yes,
I have no problem with that.
Awesome. Thank you, Kerry. Appreciate you so much.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, Kerry. First of all, I want to thank you so much for all your work for all these
thank you
years.
For all your bullshit over the years.
And all.
Great bullshit.
And give us all your website so if some of us don't know it.
All right.
Yeah, and actually my question's kind of been answered. You know, because the two Trumps or three Trumps or four Trumps. I mean, there's the real tall guy is in Cheyenne Mountain. Is that true or?
Yeah, I imagine so most of the time. But, you know, they can also be in it. It's like Valhalla.
He's got doubles.
He can also be in Valhalla, which is, I'm told, New Zealand and in Antarctica. And I'm sure there's some other faraway places they can put someone.
No, that's
okay. And the short fat guy is okay too. I mean, he's an awful good actor. If he's
well, yeah, and you know, but you don't know what plastic surgery and other kind of things. Maybe they're even wearing masks from time to time. You know, but yeah.
All right. Thank you so much. I'm so glad to see you. Where's that little?
You're welcome. My website, projectcamelotportal.com is the main one. Projectcamelot.org
money on her
is the same thing, gets the same place, but we have like 3 or 4 different URLs because we
these
started
people
getting
believe
banned
some
in
crazy
whole
shit.
countries. And so we have more than one. So projectcamelot.org, projectcamelot.tv, like television, and
I would believe that there's 3
Those
Trumps,
are the
but
main
4 is
websites.
just ridiculous. Yes.
I also have projectcamelotproductions.com, and assuming, you know, it's still operational and they don't take it down, because I do get hit quite a bit, and my webmaster does the best he can. Just let me say this. My Telegram, all my main social media links are on across the top of my website. So if you don't remember, because there's tons of copycat Telegram channels with my name and my company name. So the only one that's correct is the one with the most viewers, which is like 85,000 around right now. Okay. It used to be 100,000. So they're whittling it away.
Right.
You don't know what plastic surgery and other kind of things. Maybe they're even wearing masks from time to time, you know, but yeah.
She's obsessed with this idea that people are wearing masks.
I'm so glad to see you.
All right.
You're welcome. My website, Project Camelot Portal. The most viewers, which is like 85,000 around right now. Okay. It used to be 100,000. So they're whittling it away.
Good for you. I got to build some furniture for the new cabin. We're going to show the new cabin.
But nonetheless, so I post to Telegram every single day of my life, pretty much.
She's on Telegram.
I post
of course
articles
she's on
that
Telegram.
I think you should know about, videos I think you should know about, my own stuff
she's slurring
that
her
I think
words.
you should know about. And I also don't necessarily
she doesn't
agree
know
with
if her
the
own
stuff
website
I
is
post.
still up or not.
Sometimes I'll write a comment under it, like I just did about the nano humans, just saying,
Project Remalot.
Hello, you don't really need nano,
SCAMALOT.
but it's still worth watching because it's a good little video and does tell you how they worked through time to learn everything about you. You know, if you were stupid and not useful, they wouldn't do that, right? So just use reverse logic. I don't even know if that's the name for it. But you know, whenever they tell you something, reverse it back on itself and see if it holds water, you know? Thank you.
Oh, we made it to the end of the crazy.
Thanks.
There she is. That's vodka in that cup. She was drinking vodka the whole time, slurring her words.
Okay. We'll welcome anybody want to come and say hello and chat.
You
Noelle wants to do a quick raffle of some tickets for a book. So hang in there, and then we're going to take a 5-minute break, and we have a beautiful Sherry Dividend to come up shortly. We're just getting her ready to go with the our AV guys. Anybody want to have a quick chat? There we go.
Yeah, go buy her shit. All right, we made it through to the end, my friends. But don't worry, we hit the goal tonight. So there is some bonus material. This is pretty wild. So for those unaware, Kerry Cassidy is such a fucking crazy bitch that even the International Spiritual News Network, run by Kevin Moore here, it rips apart her Captain Mark Richards story. And Kevin Moore is a bit of a wackadoo that believes in alien channelers, but even he doesn't believe Kerry.
On July 6, 1982, Richard Baldwin was murdered by Crossan Hoover and Mark Richards.
Yeah, this is her source.
Became known as the Pendragon Murder. Pendragon was the cult which Mark was the leader of. Now, 36 years later, Mark is claiming to be a top-secret space program whistleblower and was framed by the deep state for the murder of his friend Richard Baldwin.
I killed Mr. Baldwin. Mark stood right there right alongside me. So, as far as him being in outer space, that's all bullshit.
Suffer, Kerry Cassidy.
Mark Richards was planning on taking over Angel Island, and he was recruiting all of these kids to be his knights, and that he never gave the reason why Richard Baldwin was the victim, other than the fact that
that's true,
Mark Richards wanted his cars and money.
I got a Mazzaro knife. And what followed was
sorry. I wasn't planning on this, so I didn't. Let's put it back here.
First hit, I hit him. He was standing right next to Mr. Baldwin. The second hit, he was standing about 2 feet back. When I stabbed him in the chest.
Entertaining, maybe, but total bullshit.
And then when I broke my
100%.
knife in his chest, it was like a surgeon he handed me a screwdriver and said, finish him off.
Wow.
He never mentioned a secret space program mission to me. I would have questioned that, that's for sure. But no, I never knew anything about that. 3 or 4 days after the murder, all of a sudden, he just wouldn't stop hugging me and went down on his knees and said, I could never, ever live without you. You are my whole world.
Max Spears.
And he was crying. And I said, what is going on? I said, what's the matter? He just said, I can't believe how much I love you. And would you love me no matter what?
Yeah, he's not captain of anything. I mean, that would be. I mean, if you've been locked up
this
for
is
a really
Kerry
long
Cassidy's
time,
source.
you're looking for something to
He's
do
been in
with your
prison
mind,
for 30 plus
then
years.
yeah.
And he's in constant contact with the Raptors, and they are now working, according to him, with our military.
We're not saying Mark Richards didn't commit a crime here because
He didn't.
Well, okay.
He's absolutely framed.
When it comes to Mark Richards in particular, there can be no doubt that Kerry Cassidy has no objectivity. She's personally involved and invested in this story like no other.
Absolutely convinced there is a secret space program. It may not be to the extent of kilometer-long battleships that we've heard about, but I do believe there's a secret space program. And I've got the documentation, interviews, and notes to back it up.
We're going to show you how crazy Kerry Cassidy is. Even John Lear says
what you
she's
find with the
full of
UFO
shit.
subject is there's a definite reality there, and there's definite government secrecy. Genuine whistleblowers are people who have given us the ability to do some investigation of their claims. And if they can't do that, they're not a whistleblower.
10 pounds.
Because we all look at this man who presents himself as this heroic, outstanding military man, and it's all a sham.
It's all a sham.
When I look at the facts of the case, the best that I could, I just thought.
I wonder if he vetted him 3 times. Oh wow!
He has been out to space numerous times, which
That's pretty bad. When Jimmy Church says you're full of shit, right? How many full of shit people does he host? All of them.
find fascinating. And I know he's been all around our solar system and our galaxy quite a bit.
Sure he has.
Man of many talents. And fly spacecraft. Come on. What more could you want?
Yeah, he got married while he was in prison too, I believe.
But then I could look at a story that Kerry Cassidy covers, like Mark Richards. Now, Mark Richards is a guy that's in jail, and
I've never believed Mark Richards' story so convincing.
Well,
Even John Lear says he's full of shit.
2 weeks in San Rafael.
John Lear said that there's thousands, hundreds of thousands of people living on the moon and Saturn. He's totally batshit crazy. But even he says this Mark Richards guy, who's been in prison for 30 years for a murder, is full of shit. And no, he's not teleporting out of his prison cell to save Earth every night. Imagine that.
Collecting the information on him, and I'm making a little documentary on it to show that Mark Richards is not a secret space program whistleblower. He was part of a murder that took place on July 6th, 1982, and he's saying that he was framed
Operation
for that
Shutdown is
by
with
the
John
deep
Lear
state.
on this
But
one.
when I spoke to the lead detectives that arrested him in 1982 and charged him, that's not true. And then when I spoke to his
Excellent, Kevin. Excellent work.
And when I spoke to his crime partner that had committed
Rest
the
in
murder
peace,
for
John
him,
Lear, by
he
the
told
way.
me that Mark Richards was stood 1 foot away from him as he committed the murder. So he was on the planet when the murder took place. And I've got all the court transcripts.
Yeah, Mark
as well
Richards claims he
of what
was in
said in
outer
the court.
space on a secret mission when the murder happened.
You are amazing. Thank you very much for your work.
And it's a full story. And I'm not against Kerry.
His father.
I mean, if she wants to cover that story, she believes it's true.
His
That's
father invented
fair
the
enough,
weird
right?
jets. Yes.
But you have to do your research. And I spent 2 weeks in San Rafael doing the research, knocking on doors, and even interviewing Mark Richards' ex-wife, crossing
Yeah, he doesn't want the Wednesday
partner,
night cabbage roll.
and I just got in contact with the murder victim's sister, Richard Baldwin's sister, called Susan Baldwin, and she was there at the time.
Yeah, I guess he was going to be in the documentary. By the way, Kevin Moore never finished this documentary.
And none of it's true. Mark Richards was a fantasy writer
knowledge.
back in the day, and he is now.
Thank you for your work, Kevin. You're really an amazing guy.
Well, you know, why did I do it? Well, it was just to try to give us some context in the stories that are out there. Now, there's Mark Richards is one story. There are so many other stories. How much disinformation do you think there is in the field?
People come to us.
He's got his ads turned up to max.
I've always said, you mean of all the information could be? Ron and I had a friend come to visit us before he was going into
the pipe.
Deep intelligence work. They said, I won't be able to contact you.
Allegedly, John Lear was a big fan of drugs and hookers. I don't know if that's true, though. Rumors.
Of all the information there is, the public knows 1%.
That's correct. Yeah, that's why we're doing a short video.
1.5%. He said that's about right.
Whiskey.
When Kerry comes to see you this week, I'm not against Kerry. This is not, you know, yes, we've got a disagreement right now, but you know, she's free to do what she wants, and we're all at different stages.
Okay, I'll look into it.
And what if I was wrong about Mark Richards? What if I was? But I've just gone with the evidence. That's it.
No.
That's it. Because this has been nearly 2 hours now, and I know we've missed out a lot of information, but there's loads of previous interviews that you've done on other shows that if people want to continue to dig into the archives, it's all there. Well, I just want to thank you for allowing me to interview you. If you give me permission to do that, and just thank you for the information that you shared as well.
Okay, and I want to thank you for the information on Mark Richards. That is really very, very good.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. So basically, Kevin Moore talked to the investigating officers and confirmed that, yes, indeed, Mark Richards, Crazy Kerry Cassidy's big source, who she's written, I think now 4 books about, was a complete and total lunatic that was running a cult and basically got these kids to murder a local friend of theirs so that they could take his money and his vehicles. And he's right now claiming to be a secret space program insider, and Kerry Cassidy is using him as a primary source in her books. So what does that mean? That means Kerry Cassidy is as credible as her sources. Convicted murderers. She's also used court-martialed child molesters as sources for her fake stories. She doesn't care about the credibility of the person that she is using to sell her crazy-ass stories. She only cares about the money, in my opinion. So I'll take some comments and questions from the live chat. We've done our due diligence. We're going to be bouncing on out of here. But I will be back tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Got a really fun show for you tomorrow night, all lined up, ready to rock and roll for tomorrow. And we'll see if we can't fit some extra shows in this week. Wait, if he can teleport out of his jail cell anytime he wants to, is he just staying there for fun? Yeah. The story makes no sense, right? Rest in peace, Kevin. Kevin Moore didn't die, did he? No, Kevin Moore didn't die. I don't think so. John Lear died, not Kevin Moore. 1 second here. Let me see. The latest video that Kevin Moore uploaded was 1 year ago. Yeah, I hope Kevin Moore's okay. I hadn't heard that he passed away. I think he's still around, working on various projects. I don't know. Ooh, Twitch chatters, rare. Yeah. Shut your filthy mouth, says Litka. Kerry you're a disgrace. Kerry is wonderful. Are you serious? She's retarded and she smokes crack. Litka, are you serious? She's using convicted murderers as primary sources for her books. She's used a court-martialed child molester as a primary source for her stories. Do you really think somebody like that is wonderful? Then you don't belong in my live chat. You may be retarded. I'm filth. Oh, we got a live one. We got a Kerry fan in the audience. You must not have two brain cells to rub together. You must be partially retarded to believe anything that fucking wackadoo says. Let's just review from the talk we just heard. There's 4 Donald Trumps. One of them's in Cheyenne Mountain. One of them's in Valhalla, right? JFK Jr. is not dead. Melania Trump is actually Princess Diana wearing a mask. Jews are reptilian alien hybrids. That's why they're so evil, I guess. Come on, Lika. Are you really that stupid? If you are, I'll pray for you, right? Kerry, is that you? Could be. So much excitement at the end. Lika, unbelievable. Well, yeah, I guess people can grip from prison, or Kerry Cassidy is a cash money grifter. That is correct. That is correct, right? Kerry grifted off of Charlie Kirk's murder, Princess Diana's murder, and JFK Jr.'s tragic accident. Yeah, I agree. Lika was vetted by Jimmy Church 3 times. That is correct. There's 4 Donald Trumps. Yes, one of them is in Cheyenne Mountain. He's the tall one. And one of them is spending all of his time at Valhalla. Then there's the one that's in the White House. And then I guess there's a 4th one somewhere. And President Trump is fucking Princess Diana, even though she's been dead since like 1992. Kerry Cassidy says Princess Diana. Melania Trump is actually Princess Diana wearing a mask, right? Kerry dribbles poop. That is correct. Yeah, every once in a while, when I put Kerry Cassidy's name in the title, a Kerry fan comes here and tells me how wrong I am. When's the next pig roast? Well, it's either tomorrow or the next day. I haven't decided which of the 2 shows I've prepped over the weekend we're running tomorrow. She better be putting money on Mark's books. That's why he's telling her fake stories, because he gets something out of it, right? You got to watch out for the 4th Trump. Yeah, I wonder where the 4th Trump is, right? Maybe he's on Epstein Island, right? Kerry is as credible as a chocolate teapot. That is correct. Well, my friends, we have done our due diligence, and I am going to bounce on out of here. I'll be back tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please do visit our website, truthseekershow.com. From there, you can get all the latest episodes, whether you want the audio or video version. Just know that the audio version is always a little bit behind. I got to get better at converting those and uploading those. And also, if you haven't yet, be sure to smash that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and you will be notified and can come to all of our live tapings here of the live broadcast. So what can I say, friends? We made it through. Crazy Kerry Cassidy, a guilty pleasure of mine. And she didn't disappoint. There's 4 Donald Trumps. Melania Trump is actually Princess Diana wearing a mask. Barron Trump is Princess Diana and Donald Trump's son. Come on. Oh, and Charlie Kirk wasn't really murdered, and they staged his funeral. This bitch is crazy. And that's all I have to say about that. So I want to thank everybody for the tremendous support, right, that we got tonight. We hit the goal for, I think, 4 or 5 shows in a row now so far. So thank you guys for that. It was a good idea lowering it. I was being a little too ambitious, trying to squeeze a few too many dollars out of our audience here. Our audience appreciates when we lower it and make it definitely doable. But tonight, we not only hit the goal, but surpassed it by quite a bit. So thank you all for your kindness, generosity, and support. I'll be back tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. No place I would rather be except at the cabin. And I got to say, I had a tremendous weekend this past weekend. And I think because I have been so busy with building a stone wall, an entire stone wall, that I kind of forgot how quickly the log filling process can go. And that stone wall, I think I worked on it for 6 full days and it's still not done. But the log walls are going up much, much faster. And here's a view of the cabin. I did this whole wall. There's just a few more courses of logs that go on top of those windows, and that wall is done. And got the side wall 3/4 of the way up. There's only there's not much left to be done before the walls are going to be up on this bitch. That's a view from the inside. And of course I have to chink the logs, fill in the blank spaces, but I try to make them as tight and straight as I could, so there shouldn't be too much chinking. Looks like we're going to have the 4 walls up soon, and then I just got to slap a roof on this bitch. The last part that's really going to suck is that I have to truck, well, not truck, we can't get a truck in there. I have to take 25 50-pound bags of gravel in on a wagon about a mile into the woods from where I can park. The closest I could get my car is about a mile from the build site. So that part's going to suck, but all the rest of the materials are right there in the forest. The spirits of the forest were kind to me this weekend. I went trudging through the woods, dragging fallen, and I knocked over a bunch of standing dead trees. These are small trees, so pretty doable. And I'm hopeful that by the end of this coming weekend, I will have 3 of the 4 walls done. I may not finish that stone wall because that shit takes forever. You can only go up so high on a stone wall, and then you have to wait for it to dry, because if you try to go too high on a stone wall, it gets a little wonky and you could have it fall down. And I've done that before. I've made the mistake of trying to do too much on a stone wall in a day. So you didn't think about drying the wood out and treating it before building. I've never built a log cabin though. No, because I'm using all hardwoods on this FF9000, and the walls will be treated with probably linseed oil when I'm done the chinking process. But just so you know, these logs are so hard and so dense that I can't use a hammer and nails. I tried that at the start. Hammer and nails, you can barely get a nail through these logs. They're so thick. They're hardwoods like cherry and, other hardwood. I don't know. I just know the wood's super hard. Even with a really good screw gun, I'm having trouble getting screws through them to get them up in the walls. So no, I didn't think about treating them first. You generally put the walls up and then you treat them. At least that's the way, Brian Rosenbaum encouraging people do thorough background checks on any grifters with fantastical stories. Oh, the cricket's back. Yes, my friends, the cricket is back. So there's a little update from the cabin. Cherry is worth cash. Well, I'm so happy because this year for firewood, I'm going to have a lot of cherry wood to burn. That's my favorite. Cherry wood is my favorite wood to burn. It actually smells like cherries when you burn it, and it burns real hot and real long. So get my dog out. My dog is worthless. It's not my dog. It's my wife's dog. She has a little teacup Yorkie, just a little rat dog. It's this big. That dog is useless, right? Now, we once had a mouse and it just laid there while a mouse ran right by it. Didn't do anything, right? And we don't have a cat because my son is allergic to cats. So woohoo, Mr. Cricket lives again. Yeah, it's one of those things. Well, I'm going to bounce on out of here, friends. We've done our due diligence. I'll be back tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Again, thank you all for the tremendous support tonight. We not only hit our goal, we doubled it, basically, thanks to your kindness, generosity, and support. Let's do it all again tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. I'll be here, and I hope you'll be here with me. So that's all I got for you, friends. Until next time, my name is Stephen Cambion. Good night, and God bless all of you.